Secretary and Nominated Authority, Ministry of Coal. I would welcome them as our esteemed guest on the dais, please. Sir, would you please take a seat on the dais? Shri P.S. Mishra, CMD SECL, I please welcome Sir on the dais. Thank you, sirs. I take the honor and privilege to welcome all the state ministers, secretaries, additional chief secretaries, principal secretaries to the State Mines Department, CMDs and directors of coal company, directors and officials from the Department of Mines and Geology, members from press and media, all other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I, on behalf of Coal family, again welcome you to the Coal Ministry session of the National Mines Ministers Conference here at Hyderabad. Honorable Chief Guest of the function, a visionary and dynamic leader, the one who have always believed in us, Honorable Union Minister of Coal, Mines and Parliamentary Affairs, Government of India, Shri Prahlad Joshi, sir. Sir, we are truly humbled by your esteemed presence this morning, and this is my pleasure to extend you a warm welcome on behalf of the Coal and Mines family, and thank you for gracing us with your presence. I would request Shri N. Sridhar, CMD, Singareni Collieries Company, to formally welcome Sir. Shri N. Sridhar, sir, CMD, Singareni Coalfields Limited. Thank you, sir. I would like to request Shri P.S. Mishra, CMD SECL, to welcome Dr. Anil Kumar Jain, Secretary to the Government of India, Ministry of Coal. Sir, I thank you for being with us today. We are graced today with the presence of Shri M. Nagaraju, Additional Secretary and Nominated Authority, Ministry of Coal. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. I would request Shri A.P. Panda, CMD ECL, to please welcome sir. Thank you, sir. I would now request Shri Anand G. Prasad, Advisor Project, to please welcome Dr. P.S. Mishra, CMD SECL. Thank you, sir, for being with us. Thank you, sir. Today, we are fortunate enough to witness and listen to the industry stalwarts on this common platform of National Mines Ministers Conference here at Hyderabad. This conference will help in paving a way to the next 25 years as we enter the Amrit Kal to fulfill the vision of 2047 India of our dreams. Moving forward, I would request Additional Secretary and Nominated Authority, Ministry of Coal, Shri M. Nagaraju, to deliver the welcome address. Sir.
Thank you. Good morning, the ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to the second day of Coal and Mines Ministers Conference. It's my honor and privilege to extend a very warm welcome to our Honorable Minister, Shri Prahlad Joshi ji, who has spent time with us for the past 2 days. Yesterday, we had very fruitful discussions and exchange of views on how mine development is crucial for progressing during the Amrit Kal. And today we are going to discuss about the coal. Sir, it is our privilege to extend you a very warm welcome to this conference. It is also our honor to extend a very warm welcome to honorable ministers from the states who have been our partners in the coal mine development, coal blocks allocation and operationalization. And we are grateful that yesterday we were all present, and today also you have made it a point to be present. We extend very warm welcome to all of you. It is also my honor to extend my warm welcome to Dr. Anil Kumar Jain, Secretary Coal, and who has been the key person for holding this conference, and who has been with us for the last 3 years, and who led the efforts in reforms, all-round reforms that we see in Minister of Coal. So we also welcome you, sir. And we also welcome principal secretaries from all the states, coal-bearing states, the ACS, I see ACS mines and coal. Gujarat, Principal Secretary, Andhra Pradesh, Principal Secretary, Odisha, and Principal Secretary, Madhya Pradesh. I'm sorry if others have missed. We extend all welcome, and all the CMDs are for coal companies, and Singareni, and NMDC, everybody, all the senior officers, we extend very warm welcome to the conference. I also extend a warm welcome to the officers of Singareni company here who are being present here, other officers, and also the media. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Context provide meaning and clarity to the intended message. Before we proceed further towards the presentation, I would like to invite Dr. Anil Kumar Jain, Secretary, Ministry of Coal, for setting the context, perspective, and resolve of today's conference. Sir.
Honorable Union Minister for Coal, Mines, Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ministers from the states who have travelled all the way to join us for this conference, my colleagues, Additional Chief Secretaries, Principal Secretaries, CMDs, MDs from the states who have joined us today, my colleagues from Coal India, CMD Singareni, my colleagues from the Ministry, Shri Nagraj, and others. Good morning, friends, to all of you. As we know, in the last 3 years, 2020, 2021, were washed off from any opportunity to engage with all you stakeholders, important partners of ours, in a physical format like we have today because of, global pandemic. So this was a great opportunity which the minister has organized, afforded us yesterday on the mine subject and today on the coal subject. So it's very seldom that we are able to meet the leadership of the states from where we produce coal. As you know, the statutory framework is such that Government of India handles the subject of allocation of coal mines on behalf of the states. But once we have done it, then it is left to the wisdom and to the support, cooperation from the states to make sure that this critical energy mineral is provided to the country. It's a strategic mineral. That is why Government of India deems it fit to do it with your support. Your support is critical, and for the last 2-3 years, while we were doing the reforms, we were doing it in partnership with you. And we meet in a very happy time that this year the country is likely to register almost an 18 to 20% growth in coal production. Last year we have produced around 777 million tons of coal. And this year we are likely to see nearly 890 to 900 million tons of coal. So this growth was enabled by the reforms that have been carried out ever since the Supreme Court cancelled the 204 mines in 2014. So the first stage of reforms were from 2015 to 2020, when coal blocks were allocated largely for captive use. Commercial use was not allowed. It was only given to government companies, which have not been able to come up really. That led to second wave of reforms coming in 2020, in which the law was changed, the auction policy was changed, the contract documents were revised, and now we are seeing the results coming forward. Last year, the non-CIL, non-Singareni production was 89 million tons. This year it's likely to be 139, which is a huge leap. And next year, I think going forward, it may be 180 or 200. So that is now going to keep climbing. Coal India's own performance has also been, I think, very remarkable. Last year, they produced 622 million tons. This year, they're likely to produce 700 million tons. So all told, we meet in very happy circumstances. And I want to appreciate the vision of the Prime Minister and our Minister. Throughout the pressures that came, both from international community and some sections of the domestic industry, there were any number of announcements that no new thermal power plant will be set up. The days of coal are over. But the Prime Minister had complete faith that to meet the growing energy needs of our country with such low per capita energy consumption, the future of coal for the next 20, 30 years is quite intact. And as the Minister keeps mentioning, that the Prime Minister says that to import coal into this country is actually a sin. With one of the world's largest coal deposits, if India is one of the largest coal importers, it's a matter of shame. Firstly for the coal industry, and then for the country as a whole. In the light of that, today I will very briefly touch upon the reforms that we have carried out, only to remind all of you that these are early days. The country's coal production from this 900 million tons has to perhaps go up to 1.5 billion tons. By 26-27, we have to reach 1.5 billion tons, maybe plateau over there, and after 2030, there may be a decline when renewable energy comes up in a big way. So 900 is not a number to take rest. We have to continue the reforms. And let me tell you, we know very well, I have been in this ministry for 3 years. Without the cooperation of the states, this will not be possible. And we have received huge support from the states, undoubtedly, and we want that to continue. So I will briefly touch upon some of these areas where we continue to need your cooperation. Firstly, I'll talk about some of the reforms that we undertook. Then I want to specifically talk about how we have tried to address the interest of the states. Because unless the states' interests are addressed, this is a mining sector where we harm the land, we harm the vegetation, we harm the air quality. So we have to do it in a very sensitive manner, and we have to take interest in preserving both the economy and the ecology. And then what is the support that we need from states? And very briefly, I'll touch upon the next generation reforms which we are contemplating. In the sector of reforms, you are all aware of it, that first and foremost, as I touched, we have tried to improve and enhance the coal production in the country, both through Coal India and through commercial mining. I've already spoken about that. And Coal India from 700 has to go up to 1 billion ton. So by 2025 or so, 24, 25, Coal India has to touch 1 billion, and we have to achieve Atmanirbharta in the coal sector. One important step that Coal India has taken, that in the states where Coal India has been operating for the last 100 years, a lot of closed mines exist. They were abandoned or they were closed because that time the economics was not favorable. There is coal over there, there is environment clearance, there is forest clearance, there is some infrastructure, there are townships close by, there is evacuation infrastructure. So those coal mines we have recently offered on auction. We are hopeful of very good response. So without any new deforestation, without any new harm to the ecology, that production can be brought forward. One major reform which we did, whose results are likely to be seen in a big way in the coming time, is a liberalized regime to sell coal. If you notice that from 2015 to 2020, in the first wave of reforms, we only gave mines to captive consumers. Many of them are not, they may be a good power plant operators, they may be good steel mill operators, but they may not be good miners. So the new regime was that let mining companies come in who can mine the coal and sell to whoever who wants to use. Similar dispensation we have given now to captive mine owners, that they can also sell up to 50%. So that is going to encourage, especially with the increased prices of coal, we hope that they will meet their captive demand and also make coal available. Of course, you're all aware that now the regulatory burden is almost zero. Once a coal mine is given, people don't have to come to coal ministry at all. Once they have got their FC, they've got their EC, they've got their mine opening permission from coal controller, it is all on auto mode. So that is something which I don't get any more applications from coal companies that we want this regime to be improved or that regime to be touched. And finally, in the reforms, now we have a regular offer of coal blocks. It is like on tap. Every 3 months, 4 months, we offer fresh 15, 20, 30 mines. And the ones which keep getting surrendered, we gave one dispensation to the states that if they don't want to produce from the mines they got in the first wave of reform, they can return it, and we will return their bank guarantee and performance bank guarantee, etc. So new coal blocks will keep coming into auction, and that has helped to keep the prices of coal low. Because there is no more a scarcity syndrome, कि अभी मिल रहा है, अभी ले लो, बाद में नहीं मिलेगा. Now there is a regular offer of coal blocks on auction. Moving on to states' interest, as you know, that a very big improvement which was done in 2020, that now the coal blocks are only bid out. There is no more allotment. And let me tell you that the states sitting here, who are the coal-bearing states, are the biggest beneficiary of that. Otherwise, in your states, non-coal-bearing states used to come and take allotments. And due to those allotments, no premium was given, only a fixed charge was given. Now, in the last 3 years, the minister has not approved a single case of allotment of mines. All coal mines have to go on auctions. You have to bid on the premium. So that is one very big interest that we have taken care of the states. Number two, earlier there was a fixed price per ton which they had to give, fixed premium. Now the auction is ad valorem. So as the coal prices rise, which in the case of auctions has seen huge rise in the last 1 year, and I'm sure the state's revenues are going to see a huge buoyancy. And this ad valorem percentage is also on the basis of the market price. The National Coal Index, which was framed by the ministry in 2020, has been a huge success, I might say. There are no complaints. It's very transparently fixed. If the international coal prices rise, a little impact of that is also factored into the National Coal Index. So this is another measure which has helped to improve the finances of the states. And looking to the ecology, let me tell you that on sustainability, our ministry is now very forward-looking. As you are all aware, the country's environmental regime is more statutory driven. There is an environment clearance. You have to do these 10 things. If you do them, you are okay. Forest clearance, once you have got FC2, the forest land has been diverted, there are no more compulsions. But you will be happy to know that on the self-voluntary basis, Coal India's own plantation, the area which they used to plant every year, has doubled in the last 3 years. So mine water treatment, development of mine tourism, and moving on to energy efficiency. In Mahanadi Coalfield Limited, we are trying out to use LNG instead of diesel in our dozers and heavy machinery. That experiment, I'm told, is successful. Once the gas prices come down and gas is available, all our heavy earth-moving machinery should move away from diesel and move to either electric. Now we're also trying to introduce electric payloaders, because wherever there is a stationary job of filling up the rakes through payloaders, they should do it through electric mode. And the first mile connectivity projects, so you will be happy to know, because it is in your states that this impact will be felt. By 2024, almost the entire loading of coal in mines which are more than 1 million ton per year size, it is going to be loaded through automatic silos. It's no longer going to be loaded through payloaders. So that is going to be the truck movement from the mines to sidings and loading through payloaders with all the dust is all going to finish by 2024. So on sustainability, we have to take care that people living close to coal mines, they get the same quality of air which people get in consumption in areas where far from consuming. So this is something which we are very serious about, and we have to take care of the interest of the people of the states. What is the support that we need from all of you? First is, of course, the broad category of ease of doing business. We request you that still at the state level, even Coal India often in some states, I will not name them, faces problems of CTO, small things like when environment clearance has been given. I was in Environment Ministry for 2 years, and it was considered that time that once environment clearance is given, then to obtain CTO and CTE should be automatic. But in some states, it is still a big problem. Then the movement of coal and getting of those transit passes, etc., is also a problem in many states. So my request to you is that even in the case of environment clearances, let us say, in the infrastructure projects of railway lines, sidings, etc., the MOFCC has delegated the powers at the state level. But still, getting the delegated approvals is also a problem. And let me tell you, in Delhi, many a times we have to think that if the delegated powers are not increasing the ease of doing business, then is there a point in delegating? So this is a serious concern which I will request honorable state ministers and principal secretaries to please keep in mind. Along with that, the land acquisition. In the case of land acquisition, I'll be very candid with you. You are free to frame your LA compensation policies. Coal India has a policy that it has a very liberal policy, but if the state's policy is superior to Coal India's policy, we adopt that. आप लोग स्वतंत्र हैं, भू अर्जन के लिए, पुनर्वास के लिए आप अपनी नीति बनाइए. आपकी नीति अगर हमारी नीति से बेहतर है, तो we will follow that. अगर हमारी बेटर है, तो हम उसको फॉलो करेंगे. But once you have followed a policy, please support us. In some states, let us say particularly in Jharkhand, land acquisition कब का हो चुका, कोल इंडिया कम से कम नहीं तो 2000 जॉब्स वहाँ देना चाहता है, लेकिन लैंड के रिकॉर्ड्स 100 साल से दे डोंट रिफ्लेक्ट द प्रेजेंट. आज जो ऑक्यूपायर बैठा है उसका नाम रिकॉर्ड्स में नहीं है. कोल इंडिया के ऑफिसर्स न उसको पैसा दे पा रहे हैं, न जॉब दे पा रहे हैं. एंड लेट मी टेल यू दैट द कंट्रीज नीड फॉर एनर्जी इज अर्जेंट. अगर आज बिजली का ब्लैकआउट कोई राज्य सहने को तैयार नहीं है, चाहे बिजली खरीदनी पड़ेगी, चाहे कोयला इंपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा. अगर कोई किसी राज्य से समर्थन नहीं मिलता है और वहाँ नई माइंस नहीं खुलती हैं, तो वो राज्य छूट जाएगा, हम दूसरे राज्यों में चले जाएंगे. देयर आर सम स्टेट्स हु आर वेरी पॉजिटिव. आई मस्ट टेक द नोट ऑफ उड़ीसा विच इज़ वेरी सपोर्टिव. कंट्री नीड्स कोल. अगर इस राज्य में नहीं मिलेगा तो दूसरे राज्य में इन्वेस्टर्स चले जाएंगे, दूसरे राज्य से हमारी कोल इंडिया की सब्सिडीज चली जाएंगी, एंड इट विल बी अ परमानेंट लॉस to the natural resources of that state. So please, land acquisition में आप you hold the companies accountable. जो नीति है उसका 100% पालन कराइए, लेकिन वो उस नीति के तहत कृपया करके तेजी से काम चलिए. And lastly, I will request the states that all these commercial contracts which we sign, ये contracts साइन होने के बाद अब आपकी जिम्मेदारी बन जाते हैं. तो उसमें आपको क्या रेवेन्यू मिलना है, रेवेन्यू शेयर कितना मिलना है, सब चीज़ें आपको वॉच करनी पड़ेगी. सो आई विल रिक्वेस्ट यू कि आपके जो डायरेक्टरेट्स ऑफ माइनिंग एंड जियोलॉजी हैं उनको कोल सेक्टर में आप सक्रिय करिए. बिकॉज एट गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया लेवल वी डू नॉट डू इंटेंसिव स्क्रूटनी ऑफ प्रोडक्शन, डिस्पैचेस एंड पेमेंट्स, स्टैट्यूटरी पेमेंट्स टू द स्टेट्स. वो स्टेट्स को देखनी पड़ेंगी, और जब ये खदानें 200-300 के संख्या में पहुंच जाएंगी तो इट विल बी फेयरली लार्ज अमाउंट ऑफ वर्क. तो अपने डायरेक्टरेट्स ऑफ माइनिंग एंड जियोलॉजी को, जो अभी तक नॉन कोल सेक्टर पे ध्यान ज़्यादा देती आई हैं, इट्स हाई टाइम दैट यू स्टार्ट लुकिंग एट कोल सेक्टर इन योर ओन इंटरेस्ट. एंड लास्टली, जो नेक्स्ट जनरेशन रिफॉर्म्स हैं वो मैं 3 बातें कहना चाहता हूँ. नाउ द मिनिस्टर इज़ वेरी कीन that the days of discretion and arbitrariness, they should be over. कोल का सेल जहाँ तक हो सके बाजार व्यवस्था से होना चाहिए, क्योंकि धीरे धीरे बिजली मंत्रालय भी, विद्युत मंत्रालय भी इस कोशिश में है कि बिजली अधिक से अधिक ट्रेड हो, एनर्जी एक्सचेंज पे हो, ट्रेडिंग प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे हो. अगर बिजली को ट्रेड होना है तो कोई रीज़न नहीं बनता कि कोयला फिक्स प्राइस पर जाए. तो आने वाले समय में विद्युत के क्षेत्र में जो रिफॉर्म्स होंगे उसकी परछाई कोल जगत पर पड़ेगी. एंड कोल मार्केट्स आर गोइंग टू इवॉल्व इन अ वेरी बिग वे. सो वी वांट टू एनकरेज यू दैट अधिक से अधिक जहां कमर्शियल माइंस में स्पेशली कोले के लिए एक अच्छा बाजार विकसित हो, ताकि अच्छा सही भाव कोले को मिल सके. सेकेंडली, द प्राइम मिनिस्टर इज वेरी कीन दैट कोल गैसिफिकेशन comes up in the country in a very big way. All of you come from coal bearing states. आपको आइडिया है कि कोले से मिथेनॉल बन सकता है, जो कि ट्रांसपोर्ट फ्यूल है. डीजल और पेट्रोल दोनों में मिथेनॉल मिक्स हो सकता है. कोले से डीएमई बन सकती है, डाइमिथाइल ईथर, जो कि एलपीजी में मिक्स हो सकती है. एलपीजी ऑलमोस्ट 1/3 रिक्वायरमेंट देश की सीधे इंपोर्ट होती है. बाकी जो रिफाइनरी में बनती है वो भी इंपोर्टेड. इंडिया इंपोर्ट्स 85% ऑफ इट्स क्रूड रिक्वायरमेंट. 85% हम अपना क्रूड इंपोर्ट करते हैं, जबकि देश में प्रचुर भंडार कोयले के हैं. तो कोयले से एलपीजी बन सकती है, वर्चुअली पेट्रोल बन सकता है, डीजल बन सकता है, यूरिया बन सकता है. तो नेक्स्ट रिफॉर्म ये है कि कोल गैसिफिकेशन के प्लांट्स हमको कोल बेरिंग एरियाज में लगाने हैं. उसके लिए आप लोग का सपोर्ट चाहिए. एक बार वो व्यवस्था अगर जम गई तो अगले 50 से 70 साल तक कोल का भविष्य सुरक्षित हो जाएगा. क्लीन कोल टेक्नोलॉजी की मैंने बात की. जस्ट एनर्जी ट्रांजिशन, ये अब एक इंटरनेशनली एक्सेप्टेड टर्मिनोलॉजी है. 2070 में इंडिया हैज़ कमिटेड टू फेज डाउन टू अचीव नेट ज़ीरो. नेट ज़ीरो का मतलब है कि एमिशंस जितने होंगे और जो हम लोग सोलर और वृक्षारोपण से जो कार्बन एटमॉस्फेयर से निकालेंगे वो बराबर हो जाएगा. उस स्थिति को अचीव करने के लिए कोयले के ऊपर सबसे ज़्यादा अटैक होना है. तो ये आज नहीं तो 50 साल बाद होना है. एक बार कोई तिथि तय हो जाती है तो आती ही है. सो वी विल रिक्वेस्ट यू दैट वी आर विथ यू, वी वांट योर सपोर्ट कि कोल का जो ट्रांजिशन होगा सिर्फ माइन क्लोजर से नहीं होगा. वहाँ आसपास रहने वाले लोग, उनको रीस्किल करना, उनको जॉब्स देना. कोल इंडिया अगर अपनी कोई इकाई आज से 40 साल 50 साल बाद अगर बंद करेगा तो वहाँ के स्कूल और हॉस्पिटल्स और दूसरी व्यवस्थाएं वो किसी न किसी को हैंड ओवर करेगा, क्योंकि वो कहाँ से उसके लिए फिर पैसा देगा. सो जस्ट एनर्जी ट्रांजिशन में हमको अभी से योजनाएं बनानी है कि किस तरीके से कोला उत्पादन ही बंद ना हो, परंतु वहाँ के लोगों का जीवन भी सुव्यवस्थित हो सके. अंत में गुजरात के अधिकारी यहाँ पर हैं और तमिलनाडु से भी मुझे उम्मीद लगता है आए होंगे. तो लिग्नाइट की बात भी मैं थोड़ी सी करना चाहता हूँ. लिग्नाइट इज़ ऑल्सो अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्यूल. लिग्नाइट इज़ द लेट अस से स्टेप ब्रदर और स्टेप सिस्टर ऑफ कोल. तो गुजरात में इतना लिग्नाइट है, तमिलनाडु में इतना लिग्नाइट है, आप उस पर आधारित पावर प्लांट लगाइए. लिग्नाइट के हमने, नागराज हैज़ टेकन अ गुड लीडरशिप. हमने लिग्नाइट के ब्लॉक्स भी पब्लिक को ऑफर किए इस बार जब भाव बढ़े तो बहुत सारे सीमेंट इंडस्ट्री वाले कि साहब हमको लिग्नाइट दे दीजिए। आपके यहाँ गुजरात में, सूरत में और जगह जगह लिग्नाइट के बहुत सारे बॉयलर्स हैं। आई थिंक लिग्नाइट को भी हमें इग्नोर नहीं करना है। गुजरात को हमें कोला ऑल द वे फ्रॉम उड़ीसा और छत्तीसगढ़ भेजना पड़ता है। अगर गुजरात अपने लिग्नाइट, आपके यहाँ मैंने सुना है सिर्फ 500 मेगावाट की कैपेसिटी है, आई थिंक आपको 3-4 हज़ार मेगावाट की कैपेसिटी, क्योंकि कोले का भविष्य के बारे में किसी को डाउट नहीं होना चाहिए, कम से कम इस कंट्री में नहीं होना चाहिए। दूसरे देशों के लोग चाहे बात करें, तो इसलिए आप लोग जब ये कोल विड्रॉ करेगा तो सबसे पहले पंजाब, हरियाणा, महाराष्ट्र, शायद WCL सपोर्ट कर देगा उसे, गुजरात, जिन राज्यों को कोला परिवहन होके जाता है वहीं के प्लांट सबसे पहले बंद होंगे। इसलिए आप लोग को अपने को आत्मनिर्भर ऊर्जा सुरक्षा के लिए लिग्नाइट को जरूर डेवलप करना चाहिए। सो आई एम सॉरी मैंने आपका बहुत समय लिया, परंतु ये अपॉर्चुनिटी मेरे को पहली बार 3 साल में मिली है। सो आई एम श्योर दैट दिस वाज इम्पोर्टेंट। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you so much, sir, for setting the context so beautifully that it truly justifies the importance of the topic of the first presentation of today. To enlighten us further on the subject specific to reforms in coal sector and their impact, I would like to call upon for presentation Shri M. Nagaraju, Additional Secretary and Nominated Authority, Ministry of Coal. Sir.
I'm going to run a small presentation on the key reforms the Minister of Coal had taken in the last 3 years, and a couple of them before that also, and also see how these reforms have impacted the states as well as the country in coal production as well as coal diversification. These areas are, one is of course commercial mining, we just mentioned, the linkage rationalization we have done, and then the digitization, liberalization of approvals that we have done, land use policy, the CBA acquired land, how this land can be utilized for energy related infrastructure development, and coking coal mission we have launched in the ministry last year, and coal gasification, how when we move from coal burning to coal diversification, how we can actually move to the coal gasification to meet the needs of the country, and 1 billion strategy of CAL. These are the major ones I'm going to touch and enlighten, try to inform you the impact it had on the in the country. Now, coming to the commercial mining reforms, of course, all of you know that we have now much more liberal terms and conditions. Upfront is based on geographical reserve estimate of a coal mine, a revenue sharing model completely based on the production of coal, and also on the National Coal Index that we launched 2 years ago. No restriction on sale of coal and utilization of coal. And in fact, even captive mines that Secretary Sir has mentioned, even the captive mines that we had auctioned before 2020, even 50% of the coal was also allowed to be sold in the market at the market determined price and pay the ad valorem to the states. And now to facilitate private players, before the auction, before 2014 and also before 2020, we find large number of coal mines that were allotted or auctioned were non-operational because of several reasons. When we done this analysis, we found that the 2-3 things are required, out of which we have done 2. One is single window clearance system that we have developed, which is an online portal where even the states were also onboarded. The mine plan will be approved on that, and other clearances required also given on the single window clearances. And then we also formed and set up a PMU with a professional agency at Ministry of Coal, who keep on talking to both the private sector players as well as the state government authorities to identify and troubleshoot the problems and irritants for operational coal mines. And because of that, I think now last month when we reviewed, we almost had about 48 coal mines which are ready for production now. coal. The third one is, the fifth one is clean coal technology. We have given incentive for early production, of course, and gasification. And the gasification, we have given 50% of rebate on the final bid offer, what was made by the private sector. And we also allowed, if there is a CBM in the overlap area of coal block, they are also entitled to explore CBM in the coal blocks we have given. Now, we also have issued the guidelines on offering of discontinued mines by CAL. CAL has already offered 20, and some of this bidding is now getting closed. So we hope that these discontinued mines will find good response from the industry, so that the mines which are ready with all the approvals, consents, permissions, they'll be able to start production. Now, coming to the commercial mining, all of you know that what is the impact? Basically, the impact, if you can see, now 46 coal blocks we have commercially, we have signed the agreements and all those things. And we have floated 20 abandoned mines for offering on revenue sharing basis. And Secretary Sir has mentioned, we also offered this round, lignite mines. And in fact, we got the offers also. I think, so we'll go for the next round shortly. And the total PRC of these mines that we have offered since 2020 is about a little more than 100 MTPA. Now, out of these 46 coal blocks, we've signed agreements with 43, and 2 mines already operationalized. In fact, these mines we allotted in 2020, 2 mines are already operationalized, and the third mine also got mine opening permission last month, and I'm hoping that by next month it also will start production. And out of these mines, a little more than 15,000 crores investment is expected in the states where these coal mines are located. And production, 69 MT in 21, now we are expecting 141 this year. And in fact, we are very upbeat that every year there will be multiplication of this production from large number of mines. And revenue share is expected about 13,000, almost 14,000 crores to the states from these auction mines. And now, to capture the rising prices of the coal, we have said National Coal Index we have launched that captures. In fact, a lot of states, yesterday, Mr. D.K. Singh is mentioning the revenue share for coal. Substantial amount they got it. And in fact, Jharkhand also got substantial amount in the revenue share, despite sort of problems there. And the clean coal technology also we have given. Now, with all these measures in commercial mining, we are expecting more than 136,000 jobs, new jobs in the coal sector when these mines are developed and production. And we are expecting consistent growth in production in the next decade. It may go up to 280, 300 million tons of production. Now, coming to the next one, the linkage rationalization, which is, in fact, we have done this since 2015, and then again we have done for the private sector, independent power producers in 2018. With this, about almost 90 MT is rationalized. In fact, it's unnecessary coal transportation costs were avoided. The money was saved for thermal power plants. So you can see almost 6,000 crores was saved for the states by rationalizing the thing. And linkages to non-regular sector also we have given, the policy was given, and Shakti that has been reformed. So all these things, I think the cost of production of thermal power is reduced, and there is predictability of availability of coal to the power sector in the country. Now, approvals to ensure that whatever coal mines we are giving, they also get proper and timely approvals. We have prior central government approval we have taken off, is issued. Mining lease now we have extended to 50 years compared to 30 years earlier. And captive low coal mines can sell 50% in the market. And mine plan is not required to produce more, up to 50% of the enhanced capacity, and online system of submission of mine plans approvals. Now, if you see, the 18 mines are under new regime with the PRC of 48 MT. And about 300 mines of CL got benefited for the mining lease extension. And last year, 9.1 million ton was sold in the market when the policy we have given 50% allocation, 50% entitlement. And two mines that we started production after commercial mine, 2.4 MTPA, we have increased so far, third modification. And now approvals, coming to the approvals, 36 mine approvals we have processed, and more than 3 months, less than 3 months compared to the earlier times of 6 months to 12 months. And in fact, some mines have taken more than a year also. Whereas now we monitor on a monthly basis, we ensure that if there are clarification to be provided, we ensure that the mine operators provide that, and so that we can clear this thing. Now coming to the land use policy, which is again very radical, very innovative, under the leadership of our minister and secretary we have taken. Earlier the CBA land was once acquired is completely vested with the coal companies. It can't be used by anyone else other than the coal mining companies. Now to ensure that the decoal land which there is no coal, and land which is not suitable for coal mining, this land is used for the national development. We have got the approval of the cabinet for changing the land use, for allotting the private sector and the public sector and the state governments for anything related to energy related. In fact, if people are interested, they can set up thermal power plants on the land. We can also take up R&R. We can give it to the land for the CEA purposes, and also give the land to the people. One of the issues that was raised when our Honorable Minister visited Jharkhand and Orissa was the people are not getting rights on the land given, CBI acquired land given to the ousties. So here we can actually give land on lease to the land losers for 99 years, and which is extended by the coal companies again. So with that, they can use this land as a mortgage instrument for raising money and having a permanent accommodation there. This is only thing is that this is the lease basis we give. It is not transferable, and this can be. I mentioned the number of users it can be there, and in fact states are required. In fact, states are required to take use of this policy, which is very good for the states like Orissa, where a lot of coal mining is done, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. This can be utilized for a lot of infrastructure development. We have received 4 proposals for like washeries, railway siding, resettlement, something like that. So we are going to consider them positively. So, now, the other thing which we have done last year was the launching of coking coal mission. You know, coking coal is very important for steel making, and then country is in deficit, and we have been importing coking coal. We have been spending a lot of money in foreign exchange. And there is a priority in the government. Honorable Prime Minister has been mentioning that we have so much coking coal reserves, but we are still importing. Something has to be done. So we launched last year coking coal mission. If you see this, compared to last year, in the year 2021, last year coking coal production has increased. And this year, production is in fact has risen almost about 22% till last month. And we are expecting we will cross more than 55 million tons this year. And we are going to reach almost about 105 million ton by 2030. By offering, we are going to do this. We have issued a new policy to auction the discontinued coking coal mines also from CAL. We offered this round. And we are allowing the private sector to set up washeries on the CBL land. And we are also willing to give CAL old washeries on monetization basis. 3 washeries we have planned to give from the BCCL. New mines is we are going to start. Existing mines we are going to improve production by almost 26 million ton by 2030. And the new 9 mines CL is identified. We are going to start shortly with a 20 MTPA enhancement. And we have allotted 10 coking coal blocks to the private sector. And we are seeing, I'm hopeful that by next 2 years, the production will start and it may reach about 22 million tons in the near future. The other thing which we would like actually steel industry to do is to increase blending percentage of coking coal. We should go for the stamp charging so that the amount of coal required for steel making will be reduced. Now, coming to the coal gasification, which is a priority for the ministry now, 3-4 things we are doing now. One is, of course, the 50% rebate in the coal gasification, liquefaction that we have allowed, that is there. And the long-term coal linkage, we have allowed from CAL, we have offered that. And then the ministry also coming out with the PLI scheme to promote coal gasification both by the private sector and the public sector. In fact, 4 schemes we already we have tendered, but we have not got any tender, 3 tenders. The 4th one is currently on for the WCL, for the ammonia nitrate making. So the coal gasification is going to be important dimension for extending the life of coal in the country with more than 300 billion of reserve. It is actually national imperative that coal is properly utilized so that we will address the climate change concerns and also provide employment to the people, ensure the backward regions are developed uniformly with the rest of the country. Now, one thing we have done, and the Honorable Prime Minister has announced in 2020, 1 billion strategy for Coal India. In Kevadia, when we had a strategy session. Now, if you look at it, now this year we are going to, Coal India is going to produce about 700 million ton, and by the country is going to produce about 900 million ton, and by 29-30, the country is going to produce, will have a capacity to produce almost 1.5 billion tons of coal. This is after meeting, we will be able to meet our own domestic needs, and also we can actually use it for coal gasification and any other purposes, because coal, there are a lot of experiments, scientific experiments are going on around the world on how best to utilize coal. Japan is using, Norway is using, and China, of course, is doing a lot of, they're putting a lot of chemicals from the coal gasification. We have great opportunity, we have huge potential, and it will actually make country Atmanirbhar in so many specialty chemicals, coal gasification. We hope that with the abundant availability of coal production capacity in the country, and coal will have a bright future, at least till 2050, 2060, meeting the domestic demands and also providing a lot of employment and generating a lot of revenue to the states. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your valuable insights, sir. With these reforms, coal, which have been fueling nation's economy, will continue to power India's growth in the coming years. We open for questions now. Okay, so moving forward, land is the most important factor in ramping up coal production to meet nation's energy requirement. It is equally important to fairly compensate those who part with the land. Now, I request Sri Ram Shiromani Saroj, Director, LNIR, Ministry of Coal, to take us through the approaches to land acquisition for coal mining projects. Sir, over to you.
Honorable Minister of Coal, Mines and Parliamentary Affairs, Sir, Sri Prahlad Joshi ji, respected Secretary Coal, Dr. Anil Kumar Jain, Sir, respected Additional Secretary and Nominating Authority, Nagaraju, Sir, and उपस्थित यहाँ पे आए हुए राज्यों से माननीय मंत्रीगण एवं सभी अधिकारी जो उपस्थित हैं यहाँ पे अलग अलग कंपनियों से आए हुए हैं, आप सभी का स्वागत है। सभी गुड मॉर्निंग एंड सादर नमस्कार। आज मैं आपके सामने जो लैंड एक्विजिशन प्रोसेस है और जो प्रक्रिया अपनाई जा रही है कोल माइनिंग सेक्टर के लिए, उस पर अपनी जानकारी साझा करूंगा। ये अभी जो हमारे पास मोड हैं वो 3 मोड हैं। द कोल बियरिंग एरियाज एक्विजिशन एंड डेवलपमेंट एक्ट 1957, इसमें ऑल राइट्स एक्वायर किया जाता है, सरफेस राइट और माइनिंग राइट। और दूसरा है द राइट टू फेयर कंपनसेशन एंड ट्रांसपेरेंसी इन लैंड एक्विजिशन, रिहैबिलिटेशन एंड रिसेटलमेंट एक्ट 2013, इन शॉर्ट लार एक्ट। इसको जो इसमें जो एक्वायर करते हैं ओनली सरफेस राइट, इसके अलावा एक डायरेक्ट परचेज का मेथड भी है जिसमें सक्सेस राइट्स सिर्फ एक्वायर किया जाता है। कोल बेरिंग एरियाज एक्ट जो है 1957 का, इसमें लैंड एक्वायर करते हैं ओनली फॉर गवर्नमेंट कंपनीज। गवर्नमेंट कंपनीज मीन्स any company in which not less than 51% of the paid up share capital is held by the central government or by state government or governments, यानी कि सेंट्रल PSUs और स्टेट PSUs, all are eligible for land acquisition under SEBI Act. ये कुछ हमारे जो है लैंड कंपनसेशन का कैसे डिटरमाइन करते हैं। सीबी एक्ट में जो है हमारा जो लार एक्ट है उसके फर्स्ट शेड्यूल, सेकंड शेड्यूल और थर्ड शेड्यूल ये तीनों अप्लीकेबल हैं। तो एक तो है कि जो लार एक्ट है उसका फर्स्ट शेड्यूल उससे डिटरमाइन करते हैं सीबी एक्ट में जो लैंड एक्वायर होती है। दूसरा है अंडर सेक्शन 14(1) एग्रीमेंट का प्रोविजन दिया गया हुआ है, एग्रीमेंट करके भी कंपनियां इसको लागू करती हैं। इसके अलावा जो डायरेक्ट परचेज है उसमें म्यूचुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, नेगोशिएशंस होता है। इस लार एक्ट में जो है, इसके अलावा जो स्टेट कोड है इसमें कलेक्टर या डीएम जो है वो डिटरमाइन करता है। जो लैंड हम एक्वायर करते हैं सीबी एक्ट में, इसमें टेनेंसी लैंड है और जो है गवर्नमेंट लैंड है और फॉरेस्ट लैंड है। तीनों तरह की जो ज़मीनें हैं वो एक्वायर की जाती हैं। और जो गवर्नमेंट लैंड है इसका जो डिटरमाइन करते हैं, डिटरमाइंड बाय द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट preferably as per agriculture cost. And जो forest land है, cost of net present value of forest produces depends on the density of the forest produce, etc. And cost of compensation for forestation penal on CA if any. Cost of safety zones, charges of wildlife plan, etc. ये सभी charges इसमें calculate किए जाते हैं। As per agreement, as per provisions of the Act, mutually agreed value can be decided by the coal company in communication with the landowners through mutual agreement, issuing agreement with him or her. In महाराष्ट्र में क्या है, महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट की अपनी एक पॉलिसी है, उसके तहत जो बंजर भूमि है उसके 6 लाख और जो असिंचित भूमि है उसके 8 लाख और जो सिंचित भूमि है उसका 10 लाख वो सरकार ने तय किया हुआ है। तो उसके आधार पे प्लस जो कोल इंडिया की पॉलिसी है दोनों मिला करके लैंड कंपनसेशन दिया जाता है। इसके अलावा जो मध्य प्रदेश में भी इनका काम है WCL का, लेकिन वहाँ पे चूंकि मध्य प्रदेश की पॉलिसी अलग से नहीं है तो वहाँ पे लार एक्ट के हिसाब से तय किया जा रहा है। एम्प्लॉयमेंट एंड एन्युटी, खासकर CIL के बारे में, एम्प्लॉयमेंट 1 एम्प्लॉयमेंट पर 2 एकड़, 2 एकड़ जमीन पर 1 एम्प्लॉयमेंट निर्धारित किया गया है, सब्जेक्ट टू अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ द एम्प्लॉयमेंट। इसमें क्या है कि जो छोटे किसान हैं जिनके पास भूमि कम है, 2 एकड़ से कम है, किसी के पास 1 एकड़ है, 1 एकड़ है, किसी के पास आधा एकड़ जमीन है, तो उसको क्लब करके किसी एक को नॉमिनेट कर सकते हैं ताकि 2 एकड़ बन जाए और उनका 1 एम्प्लॉयमेंट बन जाए। इसमें जो है 1 टाइम मॉनेटरी कंपनसेशन इन लिeu ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट। अब जो CIL की पॉलिसी है उसमें 5 लाख पर एकड़ दिया गया है और जो हमारा लार एक्ट है 2013 का उसमें 5 लाख पर अफेक्टेड फैमिली। और जो हमारी MCL की पॉलिसी है महानदी की, वहाँ पे 16 लाख पर एम्प्लॉयमेंट, जो एलिजिबल पार्ट है उसका 16 लाख देते हैं। एन्युटी स्कीम भी है कोल इंडिया की। इसमें क्या है, जो लैंड ओनर हैं वो उनको जो है 150 पर डेसिमल लिमिटेड टू 30,000 पर मंथ विद 1% एनुअल इंक्रीमेंट बाय द और प्रोजेक्ट लाइफ विच वाज हायर। MCL में क्या है, इनकी एन्युटी पॉलिसी ये 21,000 पर मंथ है। एवरी PAP एलिजिबल फॉर एम्प्लॉयमेंट, जो नौकरी के जो एंटाइटलमेंट है उनको जो है दिया जाएगा अप टू 60 ईयर ऑफ द एज। ये एज भी इफेक्टिव हुई है 2020 में, मार्च में हुई है। ये कुछ लैंड एक्विजिशन है पिछले 8 साल का, इसमें टोटल लैंड एक्वायर हुई है CBA एक्ट में 33,848 हेक्टेयर, एंड जो पोजेसन मिला है 26,989 हेक्टेयर, और करीब 18,369 एम्प्लॉयमेंट दिए गए हैं, ये रेगुलर एम्प्लॉयमेंट। अब हम आते हैं लार एक्ट पे। अंडर दिस एक्ट, माइनिंग एक्टिविटी डिफाइंड एज ए पब्लिक पर्पस, लैंड कैन बी एक्वायर्ड फॉर बोथ गवर्नमेंट एंड प्राइवेट कंपनीज। Mining lease required separately. Prior consent of at least 80% of the affected families required for private companies. Prior consent of the at least 70% of the affected families required for public-private partnership projects. इसमें एक और इसका कंपोनेंट है SIA, सोशल इम्पैक्ट असेसमेंट। ये लार एक्ट में मैंडेटरी है, अगर इसे एक्वायर करते हैं मैंडेटरी है, बिना SIA के आगे नहीं बढ़ा जा सकता लैंड एक्विजिशन में। और इसमें सर क्या है, इससे जो कंपोनेंट हैं, मार्केट वैल्यू ऑफ द लैंड, कास्ट ऑफ एसेट्स अटैच विद द लैंड, उसमें पेड़ हैं, ट्यूबवेल है, घर हैं, कई चीज़ें आ जाती हैं। उसके बाद जो है एक इनका मल्टीप्लायर दिया हुआ है, अगर ग्रामीण क्षेत्र में लैंड एक्विजिशन हो रहा है तो उसका दुगुना है, 2 गुने का है, शहरी में है तो 1 गुना है। इसके ऊपर सर क्या है, 100% सोलिसियम है, मतलब कि मार्केट वैल्यू, उसके बाद जो एसेट्स है, उन दोनों को मिला के इस पर 100% सोलिसियम दिया जाएगा। इसके अलावा सर अगर वो देर हुई होती है डिटरमाइन करने के बाद, तो उसमें जो है 1 साल में 12% का एस्कालेशन भी होता है, ये भी दिया जाता है। इसमें सर कुछ एक कंपैरेटिव चार्ट बनाया हमने, CBA एक्ट और लार एक्ट में क्या डिफरेंसेज हैं। सोशल इम्पैक्ट असेसमेंट, इसका कोई प्रोविजन नहीं है अपना CBA एक्ट में, और लार एक्ट में मैंडेटरी है। एक्विजिशन ऑफ शेड्यूल एरियाज एंड इरिगेटेड मल्टी क्रॉप्स लैंड, CBA में कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं है, नो रिस्ट्रिक्शंस, जबकि लार एक्ट में से हम एक्वायर करते हैं रिस्ट्रिक्शन ऑन एक्विजिशन इन द शेड्यूल एरियाज एंड ऑफ इरिगेटेड मल्टी क्रॉप लैंड, and acquisition can be done only as a demonstrable last resort in such cases. इधर सर क्या है, प्रायर कंसेंट ऑफ ग्राम सभा पंचायत, CBA में नो रिस्ट्रिक्शन है, और सर लार एक्ट में इन केस ऑफ एक्विजिशन और एलिनेशन ऑफ एनी लैंड इन शेड्यूल एरियाज द प्रायर कंसेंट ऑफ द ग्राम सभा और द पंचायत और ऑटोनमस बॉडी और काउंसिल इज रिक्वायर्ड। राइट ऑब्टेन्ड बाय द वर्च्यू ऑफ एक्ट, सर जो CBA एक्ट हम एक्वायर करते हैं इसमें ऑल राइट्स है, सरफेस राइट और माइनिंग राइट दोनों हैं, जबकि हम लार एक्ट में एक्वायर करते हैं ज़मीन, तो उसमें जो है सिर्फ सरफेस राइट एक्वायर होता है, माइनिंग राइट्स जो है अलग से लेने पड़ते हैं। कंपनसेशन एंड RR, इसमें सर अभी क्या है कि हम CBA एक्ट में लैंड तो एक्वायर कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जो कंपनसेशन है और RR है वो जो लार एक्ट के प्रोविजंस हैं, जो शेड्यूल फर्स्ट और सेकंड थर्ड में दिए गए हैं, वो इस पर अप्लीकेबल है। ये हमारी मिनिस्ट्री ने मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ लैंड जस्टिस से सलाह करके 1/9/2015 को एक कट ऑफ डेट मान करके सर्कुलेट कर दिया सबको, उस पर काम कर रहे हैं लोग कंपनी वाले। एक सर है डायरेक्ट परचेज। डायरेक्ट परचेज सर म्यूचुअल बेसिस पे है, इसमें तो गवर्नमेंट कंपनी या प्राइवेट में दोनों ही इसे खरीद सकते हैं, ज़मीन खरीद रहे हैं सीधे सीधे, और इसमें माइनिंग लीज अलग से जरूरत पड़ती है, और RR भी म्यूचुअली सेटल करते हैं। इसमें सर एक सर हमारा जो है ग्रीवांस रिडेसल मैकेनिज्म, ये हमारे सेक्रेटरी सर का आइडिया था पिछले साल। तो सर इसमें क्या था कि हमारे पास जो है जब लैंड एक्विजिशन होता है, किसी को कम कंपनसेशन मिला, उसके बाद ट्रिब्यूनल्स हैं, 8 ट्रिब्यूनल्स हैं पार्ट टाइम और 1 फुल टाइम है। तो उसमें सर उसकी एक लिमिट है कि और लैंड जो कंपनसेशन है वहीं तक उसकी लिमिट है, उसके अलावा मल्टीपल ग्रीवांसेस जाती हैं लैंड हाउसेस की, लैंड ओनर्स की, उसके लिए एक ग्रीवांस रिडेसल मैकेनिज्म बनाया गया है कोल बेरिंग स्टेट में। इसमें सर क्या है, इनके जो कलेक्टर्स हैं वो इसको हेड कर रहे हैं, वहाँ के जो लोकल MP है, MLA हैं, उनके रिप्रेजेंटेटिव, ब्लॉक प्रमुख, और उसके जो है यहाँ के ब्लॉक के जो है SDM हैं, और हमारी जो माइंस है उसका जो एरिया मैनेजर है वो कन्वीनर है। ये सर इस क्वार्टरली सर इसमें हियरिंग करने का, सुनवाई करने का रखा गया है, ताकि वो लोग जो है अपनी बात रख सकें। सर अभी सर इसमें जो है हमारी एक कोल इंडिया की सब्सिडी द्वारा वर्षों से कोल माइनिंग की जा रही है, लेकिन सर जो लैंड है, लैंड यूज़ पॉलिसी नहीं थी हमारी। तो माननीय मंत्री जी के मार्गदर्शन में, सचिव महोदय के प्रयास से तथा नॉमिनेटेड अथॉरिटी के प्रयास से एक सर पॉलिसी बनी है अप्रैल में, और ये 22 अप्रैल को इशू भी हो गई है, वेबसाइट पे अपलोडेड है, सारे चीफ सेक्रेटरीज को हमने भेजा हुआ है, सारी कंपनियों को भेजा हुआ है। तो सर इसमें वो लैंड है, लैंड्स विच आर नो लॉन्गर सुटेबल आर इकोनॉमिकली वाइबल फॉर कोल माइनिंग एक्टिविटीज़। दूसरा क्या है सर, लैंड फ्रॉम विच कोल हैज़ बीन माइंड आउट, डिकोल्डेड एंड सच लैंड हैज़ बीन रिक्लेम्ड। ये सर ये लैंड ही यूज़ की जाएगी। और सर इसमें कौन कौन इसके एलिजिबल हो सकते हैं? इसमें क्या सर, सेंटर पीएसयूज, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, स्टेट पीएसयूज, प्राइवेट एंटिटीज़, ये सभी लोग सर इस लैंड यूज पॉलिसी का लाभ उठा सकते हैं। इसके सर जो पर्पज हैं वो भी मैं आपको बता देता हूँ। ये सर इतने सारे पर्पज हैं। ये सर जो यूज होगा कोल वाशरी के लिए, कन्वेयर बेल्ट के लिए, कोल हैंडलिंग प्लांट्स हैं, कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ रेलवे साइडिंग है सर। इसी तरह सर बहुत सारे पर्पज हैं जो दिए हुए हैं। इसमें हमने वो भी डाला हुआ कि कोई 30 साल के लिए है, उसके मैक्सिमम लीज पीरियड जो है किसी में 35 साल है, किसी में 99 ईयर्स है, हॉस्पिटल के भी 99 ईयर है। इस तरह से हमने इसमें सारा रखा हुआ है सर। अब सर इसके बेनिफिट्स क्या हैं सर, इसके फायदे क्या हैं सर? प्राइवेट सेक्टर इन्वेस्टमेंट इन डेवलपमेंट ऑफ कोल सेक्टर, मोनेटाइजेशन ऑफ लैंड असेट्स हेल्ड बाई कोल कंपनीज, better utilization of available land for economic development, setting up of infra for coal handling, transportation and mechanization. अभी सर क्या है कि जो मेजर इशूज हैं, लैंड पोजीशन में बड़ी दिक्कत आती है। एक बार तो लैंड हो जाती है, लेकिन सर पोजीशन बड़ी मुश्किल से मिलता है। तो क्या सर इसमें क्या है सर, लैंड है, प्रॉब्लम्स क्या है सर? गेटिंग फिजिकल पोजीशन ऑफ लैंड acquired under CB Act due to lack of timely administrative support of different state authorities, delay in authentication of land owners due to inadequate non-reconciliation and of land records in some states, resulting in delay of disbursement of compensation and taking physical possession of land, transfer of land without mutation, missing records and illegal occupation, problems for taking timely physical possession of land due to court cases and in different court of laws, including tribunals, non-entitlement claimant and issues of encroachers. ये सर कुछ मुद्दे हैं जिनसे दिक्कत आती है पोजीशन लेने में। सर यहाँ एक सर बहुत बढ़िया मौका है कि बहुत सारे राज्यों के माननीय मंत्रीगण हैं, प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरीज हैं और ऑफिसर आए हुए हैं। उन सब से सहयोग चाहिए, बिना राज्य सरकारों के सहयोग से लैंड एक्विजिशन संभव नहीं है। तो सर इसमें कहाँ जी सर, एक तो सर अपडेशन ऑफ लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स, प्रिवेंशन ऑफ इलीगल इंक्रोचर्स, फास्टर हैंडिंग ओवर ऑफ एक्वायर्ड लैंड, क्विक एक्शन ऑफ लैंड ऑर्डर प्रॉब्लम्स एज एंड व्हेन अराइजेस इन कोल माइनिंग एरियाज, फास्टर अप्रूवल ऑफ ECFC एंड माइनिंग लीजेस। सर इन सभी में आप सबका सहयोग प्रार्थनीय है। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, sir, for sharing us different arenas of land acquisition and its statutory compliances. Before we move further, I have received a special request for which I would like to call upon Shri Dadaji Bhuse, Honorable Minister from Maharashtra, to honor Union Minister of Coal, Mines and Parliamentary Affairs, Shri Prahlad Joshi, sir. May I request Shri Dadaji Bhuse to please come up on the stage to honor Honorable Minister, sir. A big round of applause, please. Thank you so much, sir. Moving forward, coal remains the primary domestic fuel of India as well as the single largest commodity transported across the country. Making coal reach the end users in a timely and efficient manner carry no less importance than mining it. For presentation on coal logistics, I would like to call upon stage Sri Anand G. Prasad, Advisor Project, Ministry of Coal, to take the presentation forward. Sir.
Very good morning to all of you. It's a small presentation on coal logistics, giving the brief outline of the resources location, the different aspects of logistics, and the initiatives undertaken by Ministry of Coal in this regard. Coal is essentially distributed in 8 states as shown in the map. You can see during the last year, the total production from these states have been about 778 million ton, and the dispatch to different various locations, end-use locations, has been 819 million tons. It will be prudent to mention that most of the resources, about more than 90% of the coal resources are located in these 8 states, and about 70% primarily located in 3 states, that is Jharkhand, Odisha, and Chhattisgarh. And the magnitude of the quantum of the resources which are present in these states is about 89 million tons, 89 billion tons in Jharkhand, which is the highest, and about 86 billion ton in Odisha, and about 73 billion tons in Chhattisgarh. Other states comprise of about 24 billion ton of these resources, 24% of these resources, and these locations, states, gives the idea that location gives the idea that how much coal needs to be transported, as the location of the end use is as far as Punjab in the north, Gujarat in the west, Maharashtra in the west, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu in the south. Coal needs to be transported from these locations to these far-bound states for its end use, primarily as a fuel mineral. Moving forward, just a pictorial representation of the coal logistic chains. Last mile connectivity and the first mile connectivity are the two important links where when the production is taken out of the mine, it needs to be brought to the dispatch point. And the last mile connectivity is the point where it is brought to the unloading point and taken for the use of the coal. In between, trunk transportation, trunk line connectivity is also important, which is provided by either railways, conveyors, or inland waterways or coastal shipping. There are several modes for transportation of coal. It can be road, railways, conveyors, MGR. And at these locations, the important thing is how fast we can make the movement of coal, how efficient it can be, and how environment friendly it can be, and cost effective also. So the challenges in coal logistics is creating necessary evacuation infrastructure to meet coal demand. Then what is the logistic cost? Because it's very important for coal that the cost of transportation of coal is minimal. Availability of rakes and congestion on the rail network is another key issue, which is a challenge which needs to be addressed. Limited transportation of coal by alternate mode is very limited. There is no virtual, apart from railways, coastal shipping and road. No other means of transportation is there. And for logistic planning is to be undertaken for multimodal transport to cut down the cost of logistics. And several modes of this coastal mode of shipping is also available. Moving further, the coal market is very vibrant, and we are expecting to achieve, we are targeting a production of 1.5 billion by 2930. Apart from the major players, Coal India Limited, Singareni, there are other players who are coming into the market. More than 100 blocks have been allocated and 45 are operational. Creating infrastructure for these, creating logistics for these blocks to supply it to the end use is also very vital. If we look at the mode of transport which we have envisaged over a period of time, during the current year, the bar in the blue shows the current year, the percentage, amount, quantum of transportation through different modes during the current year and during the year, financial year 24-25. We see that it has been planned to increase the share of the rail transportation from present 51% to 75%. And percentage share of MGR is likely to be around 15%. And road dispatch will remain at 10%. It is planned to cut down the road transportation by means of trucks. In this context, we need to envisage smart coal logistic planning for the coal sector, because we are, some of the objectives and consideration is we are moving towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is domestic supply, undertaking, ensuring that most of the coal demand is met through the domestic sources. We have got a number of, with multiple allocations, there will be number of new and small entrepreneurs. They will be requiring coal infrastructure, either at as a first mile connectivity or the rail evacuation infrastructure. So we need to do that exercise also. We need to have increasing use of multi-mode, because shipping and inland waterways is hardly used, very limited mode of transportation except for some coal being transported to Tamil Nadu and Andhra. The approach to coal logistics has to be cost-centric, and we need to incorporate automation and technology in movement and tracking of these logistics. Some of the enablers which have been envisaged by Coal India Limited in 3 states, that is Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and Jharkhand. I would like to give a glimpse of the efforts which has been made by CIL and Ministry of Coal in these states. East-West Corridor, Chhattisgarh East-West Corridor and Chhattisgarh Eastern Corridor has been, CWRL has been planned in Chhattisgarh through a SPV, and it is expected that it is likely after complete commissioning, the coal evacuation will increase to about 95 million tons. This falls in Mandragarh coalfield of Chhattisgarh state, and it's severely lacking in the rail infrastructure. That is why this rail infrastructure has been planned. Similarly, in Odisha, MCRL has been envisaged as a special purpose vehicle connecting Angul, Balram, Butagodia, and Jarapada. We'll see in the detail. Actually, we have got next slides where it shows the detail. And secondly, there is a doubling of Jharsuguda-Barpali Sardega has been planned, which envisages about 83 million tons of coal evacuation through this rail infrastructure. Similarly, in Jharkhand, about 2 railway lines have been envisaged, that is Tori-Shivpur, tripling. 2 lines are already existing. 3rd line is being added up because on the western fringe of northern coalfield, most of the blocks which have been allocated are high-capacity mines will need to be evacuated. Tori-Shivpur line will provide connectivity from this coal field to the main line connecting Barkakana, Gomo Chopan line. Similarly, Shivpur Kathotia, which will be connecting Kathotia to Kodarma on the main Grand Gauge line, which is connecting Howrah and Delhi, will provide about coal evacuation of 25 million tons per year. A slightly elaborate detail of the planning which has been undertaken in Talcher coalfield. The MCRL, which has undertaken through SPV, this has been proposed in 3 phases, that is phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Phase 1 is nearing completion, is likely to be completed by the end of October. It's a 14-kilometer line which will be connecting Angul to Balram and provide a circular connectivity to most of the coal mines of MCL. Phase 2 of MCRL is proposed between Angul, Balram, Butagadia, connecting Tentuloi and Jarapada along north and south. This will provide connectivity, rail connectivity to many of the blocks which have been auctioned and allocated in the central and western part of Talcher coalfield. Similarly, phase 3 has been, Odisha has shown interest for implementation of phase 3, and they are undertaking this execution of phase 3, which will be connecting Tentuloi to Budapunk. The proposed coal evacuation from Talcher coalfield by 2930 is expected to be 250 to 300 million tons. The next infra enabler which has been is Mandragad coalfield, CRL and CWRL. This connects Kharasya, Dharamjaygarh to Urga, that is between Chapa and Korba, line. Now, Kharasya to Dharamjaygarh line has been completed along with the spur lines, and this line is expected to be operational. This has been connected along with the feeder line development which is being developed by CRL. Similarly, a line connecting the mega mines of SECL, Gevra, Kusmunda, and Deepika will be connecting directly to Bilaspur Katni line through the forest land at Pendra Road. This connects Gevra Road and this provides connectivity between Gevra Road and Pendra Road, and which is total length is about 135 kilometers. Next in this enabler is railway line falling into North Karanpura coalfield, that is Tori Shivpur Kathotia line. From Tori on the Barkakana Gadwa Chopan line, this connects to Shivpur, and Shivpur further is being connected through a special purpose vehicle, JCRL, which will be connecting to Kathotia, which falls on the Barkakana-Koderma line. This will again provide connectivity to about 125 million ton, which is you can see the coal blocks falling on the western fringe of the North Karanpura coalfield, where several mines of CCL and other private allocatees exist. Similarly, first mile connectivity is also very important, and several projects has been undertaken by CIL, and about 51 projects, of which 44 belongs to CIL, 4 to Singareni, and 3 of Neyveli. Of this, 88 projects have been commissioned, 6 from CIL and 2 of Singareni. The rest are expected to be completed by 2025. Besides this, several projects will be undertaken during besides this, several other projects have been envisaged to be undertaken during the phase 3 operation, and it is expected that about 346 capacity of first mile connectivity evacuation capacity of about 364 million tons will be undertaken in CIL. Another potential area for coal evacuation is coastal shipping. Sagarmala plan of Ministry of Port and Shipping is embarking on a proposed coal evacuation through coastal means, and it is envisaged that 130 million ton there is a potential of evacuation of 130 million ton by 2030. And several ports on the eastern and the western coast have been envisaged for enhancing the capacity to facilitate the coastal shipping, which is basically low-cost means of transportation. And finally, the way forward. Basically, for coal evacuation, it is necessary that seamless transportation is envisaged, for which mapping of mines, railways, ports, and end-use connectivity. This will bridge connectivity between the origin and the destination point where the coal is used. This needs to be integrated with the national plan and the PM Gati Shakti. This can be taken up for the planning purpose and execution so that there is no gap in the connectivity which exists in the coal field. There is potential for greater use of coastal shipping for domestic coal as well. This can be utilized, and all the block allocators can benefit from the reduced cost of transportation. To give an idea, coal transportation from Talcher to Dhamra port, coal from Mudra port, the cost will be, difference between rail and coastal transportation is nearly half. 3,000 rupees per ton is the transportation cost by rail, and the estimated cost is likely to be around about 1,400 rupees per ton. So there is great potential for shipping, use coastal shipping for transportation of coal. There is potential for use of common use infrastructure. In fact, MCRL is one of them where this infrastructure can be used for evacuation of the evacuation of coal from the private coal blocks as well. We can invest, the coal block allocators can think of conveyors and roads for first mile connectivity. Use of automation and technology for smart logistics is also being thought of so that the tracking and cost can be minimized. Then it is also proposed to envisage national mineral, because it is equally important for coal to have a proper logistic in place to minimize the cost. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir, for making us understand the steps involved in bringing the black diamond coal from mines to market in a sustainable and efficient manner. With this, we end 3 presentations, and we will break for tea, interaction over tea for 20 minutes, and we'll have 2 more presentations right after the tea break. May I request everyone to please break for tea, and we will resume the presentation 20 minutes from now. Thank you so much.
Minister is saying is we are now, by name we are inviting minister. He says we don't want to invite, we invite the ministers instead. And whoever wants to come and tell, they will come and tell. But if you know do you know the name of the ministers?
Not the name, but who is coming that I recognize.
There are 4. You know him?
Yeah,
Dadaji. And Orissa minister you know?
Yes.
And the Karnataka minister you know? Who are these 4? Only 4 ministers.
I was told there are 7 ministers. Only 4 are remaining to speak, along with Shri Amit Sharma, Secretary Mines.
Okay, it is 5. 5 people only.
5 people.
Okay, that's enough. Then you can invite.
By taking them.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, how much time you have?
Sir, we have We have two presentations now, after which we will hear from our Honorable State Ministers. Before we conclude today's event, yes, sir. Let me inform, we will officially end the function post lunch, but after that, right after 45 minutes break for lunch, we have a review of SCCL. So SCCL authorities are please requested to get back to this hall for their review meeting. In no time, Honorable Union Minister will be here and we will proceed further with the presentations. Yeah. Starting with a modest production of 79 million tons in 1975, Coal India Limited today is the single largest coal producer in the world with a production of 622 million ton in financial year 21-22. Coal India Limited has been entrusted with the responsibility of producing 1 billion ton of coal by the year 24-25. To show us the roadmap of reaching this ambitious target, I would like to call upon CMD SECL, Dr. P.S. Mishra, for his presentation on production of 1 billion ton of coal by CIL. We will just call Sir once our Minister Sir has arrived. There is a famous saying, productivity is never an accident. It is always a result of commitment to excellence and intelligent planning and focused approach. Coal is the lifeline of nation's energy aspirations, and rightly said by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, reforms and investment in coal sector will play a big role in making the lives of people easy. As we enter the Amrit Kal of completing 75 glorious years of independent India, the vision is set by Honorable PM for 2047 becomes more clear. This platform is a learning opportunity, and I'm sure that all of us have taken away our take of share from this conference. I thank you for being such a patient listener and a great audience. In no time, Honorable Minister Sir, Union Minister Sir will be here, and we will start formally with the two presentations. One on production of 1 billion ton of coal, and the other on the challenges of coal auction and allotment of coal mines and their status. I would like to call upon stage CMD Southeastern Coalfields Limited, Dr. P.S. Mishra, for taking us to the presentation of production of 1 billion ton of coal by CIL. Sir.
प्रणाम। कोल इंडिया लिमिटेड एवं उसकी सभी अनुषंगी कंपनियों के तरफ से आप सभी का हार्दिक आदर, अभिवादन, अभिनंदन, आदाब, आभार एंड ए वेरी गुड आफ्टरनून। Respected Honorable Minister of Coal Mines and Parliamentary Affairs, Sri Prahlad Joshi sir, respected Secretary Coal, Sri Dr. Anil Kumar Jain sir, respected Additional Secretary Coal M. Nagaraju sir, respected state ministers of mines of different states, respected Additional Secretary and other officials from Government of India, respected Principal Secretary and other government officials from different state governments, respected CMDs, directors of different PSCs present here, and the learned wisdom. It's really a matter of pride, privilege, and pleasure for me to give a presentation on behalf of Coal India Limited. To start with, as the anchor was saying, that Coal India has produced 79 million ton in 1975 when it was nationalized, and now it's aiming for 1,000 million tonni, that is 1 billion tonni, and last year it has produced 622 million tonni plus. That is the eightfold growth, and by any standard, it is a huge. No doubt, no one can say that no, it's not a great one. Now, where from this 1 billion tonni concept came, it was year 2020 when in the beginning our visionary Honorable Minister of Coal has coined this term that let us produce this 1 billion tonni by 24-25 in Kevadia, and that was a crash program made for the Coal India Limited, and on that Coal India Limited is in the cusp of transformation to achieve this ambitious target of 1 billion tonni. Why? Because the grounds are very clear, the vision is very clear, that last year the Coal India has produced more than 622 million tonni, and this year, till date, the growth is more than 45 million tonni. The envisaged growth for producing 700 million tonni this year was to the tune of 78 million tonni, and out of that, in less than 6 months, in the H1 only till date, the total incremental growth is 45.37 million tonni to be precise, and that's why there is no doubt that the Coal India will not produce 700 million tonni. One more interesting part, that there are 7 like coal producing subsidiaries of the Coal India Limited, and except ACCL, all have registered a huge growth, and the quota of 77 million tonni has been, made by that one, and the remaining this 32, 33, ACCL has given a growth of 7.5 million tonni till date, and it has to produce 182 million tonni, and for that the remaining part is 32, which if ACCL produces, the Coal India will produce 700 more, and other subsidiaries, nobody can say that in the coming 6.5 months, they won't give any incremental production. So what will the figure? That will be amazing one. That I can assure on behalf of Coal India Limited, that it is poised to produce more than 700 million tonni. Coming to the part of ACCL, ACCL has given a slogan, Ab ki baar 200 par. Though our target is 182, but we have given ambitious target. We are laying the strategies for that. And once the ACCL produces 182, so it's bound to produce that one. Coming to the history of Coal India Limited, there is one mission and vision part of Coal India Limited. That mission and vision, though it appears very simple, but it has gone through the sea changes in the last 250 years, when the first piece of coal was mined in Jharia, Raniganj coal field, in that time the Badaman kingdom, and presently in the state of the West Bengal by the Sumner and Hitli. And this 248 years of history has shown so many challenges, so many difficulties, and out of that, to meet the needs of the future generation without compromising, the present scenario, the mission of Coal India says that to produce and market the planned quantity of coal and coal products. It's not only the coal. And that also not with the economics and efficiency, but in an eco-friendly manner with regard to all sort of objectives. It may be, the quality or the safety or the conservation. And why this? Because when the Coal India was nationalized, that time it was the challenge of systematic and scientific mining. We have carried forward that. We have introduced a lot of advanced technology. We are introducing it in a larger way, and that's why all the growth scenario is there. So without going much to the mission and vision, the Coal India tries to become and to emerge as a global player in the country. Now, if we discuss about the major global players, it may be the Glencore or the Rio Tinto or the BHP Billiton or the Peabody or the Senhua Energy or the Anglo-Americano, Coal India is a single entity which produces this huge quantum of coal to the more than 600 million tonne, and already it is the global player and emerging as the, the energy supplier to meet the energy security of the country. As I told earlier, that it is the cusp of transformation, and it will meet all the needs of the nation to become the Atmanirbhar Bharat and to provide the energy security. We all know that if a single bulb is glowing here, because one of our employees is somewhere either 300, 400, 500, 600 meters down the mine, or it's raining in most parts of the country, and there the workers are working over there also, and everybody motivated enough to achieve this target of 1 billion tonne without any doubt. Last year production, I told that it was 622 million tonne plus. The dispatch was even 662 million, that one. And this year also the growth because of supply to the power sector has been enormous to the tune of around 14-15%, and we are meeting the needs of the power sector also. It is the Maharatna company and already the best one. The key company highlights the record-breaking, as I told that already the 622 million tonne production was the ever highest, and this year the one more important thing comes into picture, that prior to this one, in the journey of 47 years, Coal India Limited in any year has given the maximum incremental growth of around 40 million tonne. This year already in 5.5 months, less than 5.5 months, the incremental growth is more than 45 million tonne. So again, as per any standard, it's the use, and it becomes the epitome of the use if you want to define through any dictionary meaning. The initiatives which have been taken by the Coal India Limited, it's the mechanization of the underground mines. Though major production is coming from the open cast mines, but we have got ambitious plan that how we can go for mechanization of our underground mines, and for that the different scenarios without affecting the ecology, the environment, and the sustainable development. If we can take out some more the dilute coal, the high grade coal, and without disturbing much of the society. So for that also we have made an ambitious plan, and in future we are planning to produce around 100 million tonne from the underground, which is right now to the tune of around 25 million tonne. And now then for that we need some organic growth and some inorganic growth. We are putting a lot of MDOs and outsourcing through the hiring of the HEMMs, but we are strengthening our our organic growth also by deploying huge fleet of equipments. It may be the shovels or the dumpers or the dozers or the drills or the drag lines, and Coal India is procuring a lot of equipment so that we can have our organic growth in combination or in juxtaposition with the organic growth, so that we can attain our target of ambitious target of 1 billion tonne. We are focusing on the increasing the evacuation infrastructure also, and for that lot of the FMC projects earlier, which was to the tune of like any project which was producing more than 4 million tonne per annum, for that only the FMC projects were in recess. But right now we are having in pipeline several projects which are producing more than even 1 million tonne also, and creating that CRL, CWRL or the MCRL, the huge infrastructure for the rail projects, that's also coming. Enriching the environment, we believe in our culture, we believe in our society, और जैसा हमारे महापुरुषों के श्रीमुख से गिरांजलि समुच्चरित हुई है कि रक्षाये प्रकृति पांतु लोका, हे विश्व के लोगों प्रकृति की रक्षा करो, हे people of the world protect the nature. Coal India Limited, being a good corporate citizen, we believe in protecting our environment so that we can develop in the sustainable manner, and for that one we are doing a lot of work related with either the environmental protection or with respect to the sustainability. We have initiated different diversification projects also, and with that one the projected production of coal by CIL is, as I told, that with a CAGR of more than 17%, it's going to be 1 billion tonne. Coming to this capacity building of 1 billion tonne, that what are the enablers, what are the enabling conditions? For that already, the foundation is then laying has been done, and for that we need some approval of project reports, and already after 2020, that Chintan Sivir 52 projects have been approved, which will create capacity for attaining this 1 billion ton. We need some statutory clearances and possession of land. As told by Mr. Ram Siromani Sarma, that there are certain issues, challenges, and difficulties in acquisition and possession of the land, but whatever support he was seeking from the state governments, I go in consonance with his views, and if those enabling conditions are provided, already we have got certain land, we are facing certain difficulties in the possession, but and we are getting support from the state governments also, so I am hopeful that having all the statutory clearance, which are the critical in nature, and the ECFC also in hand for producing that 1 billion ton, the Coal India Limited will produce that one also. The rail infrastructure already, seven rail lines, they are coming up, and they will create more than 130 million ton of additional capacity in the coming, even before that 24-25. And that time, the Coal India will be only 50 years old when it will attain from 79 million ton to this 1 billion ton. And UG Mines Mechanization, I told that we are going with the continuous mining technology. For that one, we are even trying to encompass the paste fill or the backfilling technology also along with that, where there are certain either structures on the surface or there are certain difficulties on the surface, so that we can backfill the underground mines also, so that we can extract more and more coal from the underground mines. Coming to this FMC, the first mile connectivity project, what I told that it doesn't only lead in the faster evacuation of the coal, but it also protects the environment, the ecology, and the health and the hygiene of the community, of the society over there. And for that one, the total number of FMC projects were 35, as told by Director of Projects also, that there are total 51 out of its total 44 are from the Coal India Limited. So in the first phase, there were total 35, and out of 35, the work order has been issued for all of them. 6 projects contributing around 82 million ton per annum has been already commissioned, and around 28, which will contribute 320 million ton per annum more, they are in the pipeline. There is one project delayed, which is Magad of CCL. So for that, there are certain FC issues, I think, with some more enablers over there, that will also be done. Coming to the part 2, where the mines having more than 1 million ton per annum production, they will also go for the first mile connectivity. They are 9 in number, and except one, all are like either the tender has been floated or the work order has also been issued in respect of the 2 projects. We have got, the MDO projects also, and for that also we have got a very ambitious plan. We are putting our minds in the MDO mode, so that some more inorganic growth could also be envisaged. And for that, there are total 15 projects which will contribute more than 168 million ton of coal per annum. And out of that, 6 projects have been issued with the work order. The 4 projects where the more than 30 million ton production will come, like the bid has been opened, and the 3 projects where around 30 million ton coal will come, they have been re-tendered because there are certain issues, and NIT is being floated in respect of 2 projects where the production rate to the tune of around 12 million ton per annum. As told earlier, that in the business value chain, the Coal India Limited is going for the diversification also, because becoming good is something else and becoming great is something else. Coal India Limited want to become not only the global leader, but the best company, and for that we are diversifying into different fields. One of the fields is the aluminum business value chain, the second being the renewable energy business value chain, and the third being the coal to the chemicals. And in all these 3 arenas, several steps have been taken so that we can achieve this diversification projects also completed within the limited time. For coming to the first one, that the aluminum business value chain, around 3 million ton per annum bauxite source is being created, which will give around 1 million ton per annum of alumina, and that will result in 0.5 million ton per annum of the aluminum, in combination with 1400 megawatt of the power. For that also, to the tune of around 6 to 6.25 million ton per annum of coal, and that is being done in consultation, in collaboration with one of the wholly owned subsidiary of the Coal India Limited, that is the Mahanadi Coalfields Limited. Coming to the renewable energy business value chain, Coal India want to become the net zero. Some of the subsidiaries are planning even to go for the net positive also, but let us first complete that net zero, and for that we need around 3,000 megawatt of the power, and that's going to be commissioned very shortly. There are certain the projects by targeting available land parcels and rooftop spaces for solar PV plants, some by targeting states with high potential like Rajasthan for captive use, and by participating solar tenders with SECI or the DISCOMs, that is also going ahead. Whereas the proposed coal to chemical projects through surface is concerned, the 4 companies, the ECL, WCL, SECL, and MCLs, they have planned their mines where like the products either in the form of the SNG or the ethanol or the ammonium nitrate or the ammonia will come. The total coal to be used will be to the tune of around 4.85 million tonne, and that will create these products to the tune of around 2.58 million tonne per annum, and they are in the different stages of either the approval or the tendering. So that's also a part being taken care of. As secretaries are told that either the LPG blending policy or the DME, these all the SNG can be produced, and that there are the myriad uses of these all the products which will come into picture. CMPDI, the think tank of the Coal India Limited, they have also created, enormous capacity. Either it is a digitalization, or the use and application of drones, and they have got, 8 number of DGCA trained and approved certified, the drone pilots, they are doing our own work. And when we use the drones or the digitalization, that results into monitoring of the very minute or the micro things, like it may be the slope monitoring, the dump monitoring, the environmental monitoring, the air quality monitoring, or the equipments monitoring. There are certain big equipments where everybody cannot see at the different places. So these all things can be done by that, and for that either it is different models, either it is the terrestrial or the elevation or the surface. So how by creating some sort of some advanced by using some advanced technology, and Coal India using the advanced technology also at the greater extent. With this, I thank everybody for giving us the time to present on behalf of the Coal India. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for showing us, visualizing the path for achieving 1 billion ton of coal. With this, we end this presentation, and for the further presentation, I would like to call upon Shri Marapalli Venkateshwaru, Director Technical and Nominated Authority, for his presentation on operationalization of coal mines allotted and their status. Sir.
Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, good afternoon all. I would like to present the operationalization and status of the allocated coal blocks. As you all are kindly aware that the evolution of commercial mining took place over a period of time towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-sufficiency of coal for the growth engine. And as on date, we allocated, or 111 blocks have been allocated, which includes 43 coal blocks allocated in 4 tranches of commercial action. So to have a snapshot, for end-use power, 48 coal blocks, and for NRS sector, it is 22, and for commercial sale, it is 41. So these 2 acts which were governing for the allocation, CMSP and MMDR, put together, have led to these 111 coal blocks. So this is excluding the 12 coal blocks which were accepted for surrender under the recent amnesty scheme. So next, as you all kindly aware, the procedure involved in obtaining or in commencement of a coal mining project. Commencement of production from a coal mine is a time-consuming or high gestation period activity which requires large capital investment, and it requires multiple approvals from various government agencies, Some are parallel, some are sequential, some are site-specific, some are general. But in general, the various approvals required are prospecting license, approval for GR, mining plan and mine closure plan approval, forest clearance, environment clearance, land acquisition, groundwater clearance, wildlife clearance, etc. Some diversions required for the commencement of production from those mines. So these milestones, these approvals are put forth in the form of milestones while commencement of production from the allocated coal blocks. So these are bifurcated into different 5 milestones, but with the recent initiatives of Ministry of Coal, these milestones were also given with some flexibility. Whenever any allocatee is able to conclude or commence the production before the given scheduled date, the earlier milestones, though they were missed, he will not be penalized. Like that, much flexibility is given with regard to the operationalization of the coal blocks. So when we come to the measures taken for the sake of operationalization of coal blocks, so many measures in the form of policy or operationalization initiatives were taken from the Government of India, Ministry of Coal. One among them is vesting of the clearances to successful bidder. Previously, all the clearances ought to be taken by the successful allotee. Now, the previous allotee, whomsoever is there, whatever are the clearances obtained, they can be vested. And the early production incentive, which is around 50% of the offer, is given to the production which is achieved before the scheduled date of commencement. Mining plan approval process is revamped, wherein it is made online with the timelines, and this also has some flexibility with regard to the minor changes. So the empowerment is given to the boards of respective companies to enhance the production up to even 50% of the peak rated capacity. So allowing commercial sale by up to 50% of the coal blocks is also a measure wherein some of the coal block allocatees whomsoever has the end-use plants not established in time, they can very well go ahead with the production with a move towards selling them in the market. Single window clearance system also has been brought in place by Government of India, Ministry of Coal in 2021, which facilitates obtaining multiple approvals through a single window, which again moves to the respective government agencies, including MVFCC and state government agencies, etc. So fund commitment for coal evacuation. Basic, as it has been told by the previous speakers, it requires a lot of infrastructure establishment to handle the transport of coal from the coal mines to the end-use plants. To that extent, Government of India has taken so many initiatives and grounding so many projects to build up the coal evacuation infrastructure. And they allowing the land, so land unused or already coal, mined out land can also be used for the purpose other than mining, which facilitate establishment of some infrastructure over there or industries over there. And the mines which were allocated to the government companies previously, now they are being given with some window in which 12 blocks have already been surrendered under amnesty scheme with a move towards making them or allowing them to be again put forth for auction in the next tranches. So those 12 blocks will be given or will be given chance or included in the next tranches of auction. Ministry of Environment also has taken so many initiatives in which they have aligned the EIA EMP notifications in line with MMDR amendments and allowing of 50% expansion EC capacity without public hearing. And they also had brought in the portal called Parivesh to ease out the obtaining approvals with regard to EC, FC and wildlife, etc. So redundancy with regard to the laws governing the coal mining also have been removed, or the redundancy is removed from these laws. And operationalization, when it comes to operationalization measures, so Ministry of Coal at the secretary level, they do have some mechanism in place to review regularly with, along with the MVFCC and other state government chief secretaries to progress or to hasten the process of operationalization of the coal blocks. And with a proactive approach at nominated authority level also, regular reviews are being taken to know the difficulties being faced by the coal block allocatees and to support them in obtaining the approvals with the help of concerned state government agencies. A project monitoring unit also has been held for hand-holding of the allocatees That unit has the expertise in different aspects to support the coal block allocators in timely obtaining the approvals. So at last, when we say it is recarving of coal blocks, in a recent move as directed by our respected Secretary Sir and nominated authority, the coal blocks have been recarved, taking into the opinions expressed by different prospective bidders, and the difficult areas have been removed or shape and sizing has been done in such a way that the block can be operationalized at the earliest. So all these measures have resulted in enhancement of production, which can be seen that in 2021 the production is 63 million tons, and 21-22 it is 85 million tons with 35% growth, and this year we are expecting 141 million tons with 66% of growth. So these measures have resulted in the enhancement of production. As on date, there are 48 mines which are operationalized. That means that they have the mining opening permission, and 11 mines are expected to get the mine opening permission during this current financial year. And producing mines are 36, and expected mines to be producing this current financial year is around 12, which makes around 48 mines that will be producing coal by the end of this financial year. So when it comes to the next projected production, we are hoping within 3 years we will be reaching double the production than this expected production this year. So by 25-26 it will be reaching 280, and by 26-27 it will be 320 million tons with all these measures. And we can very well see the coal mining, which results into different revenue arenas like royalty, DMFT, NMET, GST, etc., etc. So all these fruits have already been taken by the respective state governments, and now with the bidding of these 43 more mines under commercial action, we can expect 12,000 crores of rupees per annum as a revenue with the achievement of peak rated capacity, and the capital to be invested in those projects happens to be around 13,000 crores, which yields around 1,15,000 employment capacity by these 43 only. So other than these 43, the already allocated coal mines also yield some employment and revenues also. So, however, in spite of all these measures and by taken at various levels, so we do have some challenges with regard to operationalization of the coal blocks, right from prospecting, obtaining approval for prospecting clearance and forest clearance, resistance from local villagers, environmental clearance, again conducting of public hearing, forest clearance. The major concern is with regard to identification of CA land, suitability of certificate for those CA land, and discrepancy in land records, obtaining NOC from Gram Sabha, requirement of some studies, though they have been eased out in recent times, it do have some influence, and delay in transmitting the information with the involvement of various agencies, right from the DFO or FRO level to Government of India, tree enumeration, cutting and possession. All these are with regard to forest clearance. Land acquisition has already been told by my previous speakers. There is again a discrepancy in records, disputes with regard to the ownership of land, whether it is forest or non-forest land, completing of FSC and conducting of Gram Sabha, finalization of scheme, compensation and R&R scheme, socio-political resistance. This happens to be a major reason in every aspect. So these are the major things. Other than this, the evacuation infrastructure, though measures have been taken at Government of India level for the rail infrastructure, local road connectivity or a strengthening of the roads have to be done by the local governments, wherein some support is required from the local governments. And mining lease, administrative delays are happening, and diversions, etc. are also require some approvals. So these are the challenges which I am hopeful that the same can be overcome in future with the kind help of the state governments, because with these measures we will be able to enhance the coal production, we will make better availability of power and more employment with the capital investment, and which will result into industrialization, by the way, in and around the surroundings. So I request the state governments to extend kind cooperation in the following areas, like a policy measures to ease out land acquisition, and approval of land rates and R&R compensation priority on priority basis, proactive identification of CA land or else the land bank. This already has been done by some states, wherein they are now reaping the fruits out of this identification of land bank. so with which they are able to ground the projects and attract the industrialization to that extent, and propagating the benefits to prevent resistance. This is a major aspect where the local people will have to be educated for encouraging them towards duly considering the benefits on account of this coal mining, and building suitable facilities for evacuation infrastructure, proactive support in attracting investments, avoiding administrative delays by better governance. So these are the supports required from state governments, and barring this, there are small issues with regard to land, CBA rights, etc. with CAL, and with regard to recasting of the block boundaries, it is a continuous process. We are nominated authority, Ministry of Coal is taking different measures, and at every moment of time, we are asking the prospective bidders or state governments, they can also very well express their opinion with regard to recarving of the blocks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for making us understand that the coal process is challenging and we need to abide by all the rules. Now, I most humbly and respectfully request Honorable Union Minister, sir, to please take a seat on the dais, and request Shri Padmanabhan to please escort sir. Thank you so much, sir. We are graced today with the presence of state ministers from different states. We would love to hear them at length, but keeping in mind the time constraint, we would hear them briefly. In order, I would first like to call upon Shri Praful Kumar Malik, Honorable Minister, Odisha, to share his views on today's platform. Sir.
Namaskar. Honorable Minister of Coal, Mines and Parliamentary Affairs, Sri Prahlad Joshi ji. Honorable Ministers of different states, Secretary Coal, Principal Secretary of the different states, other dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to be here today at the National Coal Mines Conference being organized by the Ministry of Coal, Government of India. It is a matter of pride and privilege to share with you all that coal reserves in Odisha is the second largest with 24.52% of the total coal reserves of the country, that is 77.28 million tons. Coal reserves in Odisha are concentrated in two areas. Talcher coalfield area mainly concentrated in the district of Angul, and river coalfield area mainly in Sundargarh and Jharsuguda district. Talcher coalfield has been the highest geological reserve of 51.163 million ton in the country, whereas the river coalfield has in the third highest geological reserve of 26.122 billion ton in the country. Coal production in the state of Odisha has been the highest in India in the year 2021-22 with 184.97 million tons. We may be aware that after cancellation of allocation of coal blocks of Odisha as per the judgment of Honorable Supreme Court in the year 2014, there was apprehension of paucity of coal. However, auction process initiated by the central government and attractive mining policy have helped in bringing the situation back into the track. This initiative has been duly facilitated by the suitable land acquisition and management policy, rehabilitation and resettlement policy, early resolution of land issues, disputes, stress, government is also making all out efforts with an aim to reach all the peak of coal production and dispatch. Though major portion of the coal blocks, that is around 30 coal blocks, are under the control of Coal India Limited through its subsidiaries MCL, non-CIL companies have also shown their interest, which is evident from the fact that 15 coal blocks have been allocated to non-CIL companies through allocation auction process conducted by the Ministry of Coal, Government of India. From statistic viewpoint, I am glad to share that in the financial year 2021-22, in spite of a second wave of COVID-19 situation, 184.97 million ton of coal has been produced in the state by recording a growth of 20% compared to previous financial year. Also, in the financial year 21-22, rupees 2,694.35 crore has been contributed to coal transactions towards royalty, which is 63% more than that compared to the previous financial year, and is the highest among the royalty collected in the financial years. In order to put a check in the coal theft and illegal mining of coal, state government have adopted I3MS with the provision of a GPS tracking system. The online system has helped significantly in detecting unlawful mineral extraction from the coal mines and transactions. Still, the state government is facing a few hurdles that have affected coal sector development adversely. For proper coal evacuation and transaction, state has always impressed upon the development of a common railway corridor for Talcher coalfield area, where Ministry of Coal and Ministry of Railway are the major stakeholders. The construction work of the corridor has been very slow and thus needs the immediate intervention of central government for completion of the said projects. Besides, state government have earlier raised its concern on issue of namely provision of coal royalty, sharing of the clean energy cess with the state government, consideration of another CIL subsidiary. Besides MCL, for better management of coal production, evacuation and redressal of grievance of the people affected by the projects. Though state has raised these concerns many times in different central government forums, the matter is yet to be considered by the central government. Apart from this, state is also expecting separate police norms and the supply of coal to the and CPPs considering their requirements. It is really a matter for privilege to participate and share thoughts in such a platform. I am quite sure that exchange of thoughts and ideas on mineral development and deliberation of various policies across the state must have been very useful to all the participating states, which with the critical in enriching national mineral policy and will contribute towards sustainable growth of the nation as a whole. Thank you. Jai Hind, Bande Utkal Janan.
Thank you so much, sir. Next, I would like to call Shri Dadaji Bhuse, Honorable Minister Maharashtra, for sharing his views. Sir.
नमस्कार। राष्ट्रीय खान मंत्री सम्मेलन में उपस्थित भारत सरकार के आदरणीय मंत्री महोदय प्रहलाद जी जोशी जी, देश के विभिन्न राज्यों से पधारे सभी मंत्रीगण, सभी अधिकारीगण, मंत्री महोदय, मैं आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। इस सम्मेलन के माध्यम से विविध राज्यों के अनुभव तथा समस्या साझा करने के लिए यह मंच यहाँ पर सभी समस्याओं के लिए एक व्यवहारिक समाधान के लिए उपयोगी साबित होगा, ऐसा मैं विश्वास व्यक्त करता हूँ। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के मार्गदर्शन में और माननीय खनन मंत्री जी प्रहलाद जी जोशी जी, इनके मार्गदर्शन सक्रिय नेतृत्व में खनन क्षेत्र की गति को बढ़ावा देने के लिए विभिन्न पहल की गई है। केंद्र सरकार ने एमएमडीआर अधिनियम के साथ साथ इस अधिनियम के तहत विभिन्न नियमों में संशोधन को शामिल किया गया है, जो देश के खनिज आधार उद्योग के साथ साथ खनन क्षेत्र को कई गुना लाभ दे सकता है। महाराष्ट्र में माननीय मुख्यमंत्री श्री एकनाथ जी शिंदे जी और उप मुख्यमंत्री देवेंद्र जी फडणवीस के नेतृत्व में खनन क्षेत्रों को नई ऊंचाइयों पर ले जाने का विश्वास मैं व्यक्त करता हूं। महाराष्ट्र 817 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर में फैले विभिन्न प्रकार के खनिज भंडारों से समृद्ध है। विदर्भ, पश्चिम महाराष्ट्र, कोंकण क्षेत्र में बहुत विपुल खनिज भंडार है। महाराष्ट्र देश में मैग्नीज का दूसरा सबसे बड़ा उत्पादक, बॉक्साइट में चौथा, कोयले का पांचवा सबसे बड़ा उत्पादक राज्य है। हाल ही में भारत सरकार द्वारा राष्ट्रीय खनिज विकास पुरस्कार भी महाराष्ट्र को मिला है। हमारा भारत आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहा है। महाराष्ट्र में राज्य खदान स्थलों के लिए रोड और रेलवे कनेक्टिविटी में सुधार देने पर महाराष्ट्र सरकार केंद्रित करेगी और इससे खनिज आधार उद्योग के विकास और रोजगार में बढ़त हो सकती है। हमारा भारत देश कॉपर, गोल्ड, लिथियम आदि जैसे विभिन्न खनिजों का आयात करता है, जो विदेशी मुद्रा पर अतिरिक्त बोझ पड़ता है। मैं समझता हूँ आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लिए हमारे लक्ष्य की उपलब्धियों की एक दिशा में एक सकारात्मक कदम उठाया जा सकेगा। मंत्री महोदय, महाराष्ट्र में
खनिज उद्योग क्षेत्र में पारदर्शिता के हेतु राज्यों में सैंपल टेस्टिंग लैब की संख्या और उसका आधुनिकीकरण करने का हमने तय किया है। उसके साथ साथ खनिज उत्पादक की जो मात्रा क्वांटिटी, इसके लिए ई टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल करते हुए सही मायने में जो क्वांटिटी है वो देश के सामने आना चाहिए, राज्य के सामने आना चाहिए। इसके लिए भी कुछ प्रावधान करने का राज्य सरकार ने सोचा है। मंत्री महोदय, मैं आपसे निवेदन करता हूं, महाराष्ट्र के खनन क्षेत्र के निरंतर और गणनात्मक विकास को प्राप्त करने के लिए एनएमईटी फंडिंग के क्षेत्र में और साथ ही संबंधित मंत्रालय से पर्यावरण और वन मंजूरी के मुद्दों के निवारण, आज उसके ऊपर चर्चा हुई है, मदद करने का मैं अनुरोध करता हूं। जल्द से जल्द अगर इनके परवानगी उपलब्ध होती है तो नए ब्लॉक भी शुरू हो सकते हैं। मंत्री महोदय, मैं आपसे विनती करता हूं, केंद्र शासन माइनर मिनरल्स का नोटिफिकेशन करते वक्त राज्यों को भी विश्वास में ले ताकि सरकार का नुकसान ना हो। डीएमएफ के विनियोग करने के राज्यों को भी स्वतंत्रता मिलनी चाहिए, ऐसा मैं आपको विनती करता हूं। इस राष्ट्रीय खान मंत्री सम्मेलन में हम सबको यहाँ पर आमंत्रित किया और अपने विचार रखने के लिए अवसर दिया। मैं आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं और साथ साथ खनन क्षेत्र के विकास के लिए खान मंत्रालय के साथ साथ राज्य सरकारों के साथ मिलकर काम करने के लिए महाराष्ट्र राज्य की ओर से सकारात्मक विचारों और कृति की मैं आशा व्यक्त करता हूं। जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र।
धन्यवाद सर। I would now request Honorable Minister Assam, Ms. Nandita Garlosa, to please come forward for sharing her views on today's platform. Ma'am.
Good morning, Honorable Union Minister Prahlad Joshi ji, Honorable Ministers of other states, officers of various states that have joined us here. Today, to speak on coal, Assam has got abundance of coal, I'll say, but compared to other districts, it's very less. But in the northeastern districts, the 7 North Indian districts, states, we can say that there are much of it where we can work to it. So potentiality of other petroleum products are also there. And we find that we residing in the 6 schedule areas, there are some issues that only I'd like to say to the Honorable Minister so that if he can resolve to it, that will be quite lenient for the state of Assam. So sir, coal has been found in the locations in Karbi Anglong and Dima Hasao district. These are the 2 districts which are under the 6 schedule areas. And but coal deposits in Karbi Anglong is very small, but Dima Hasao has got an abundance, I can say, in the coal. But they cannot be auctioned for a large-scale mining, and most of these coal deposits occur in private patta land, and the existing land rights in that 6th schedule area makes it difficult to allot mining permit to miners. So I'd like to request the Honorable Minister of Coal to take a note of it and to allow a mining permit procedure for PP land owners in the line of one owned for Meghalaya. So I was also expecting Meghalaya Minister to be here and then we can have a little bit of discussion. But thankfully, I think with the consent due of our Honorable Union Minister that he will be meeting in the Northeast, so we can have a more thorough ideas on that. So Assam government may be allowed to grant permit to the PP land owners in Karbi Anglong and NCL's autonomous council areas for small pocket coal occurring in PP lands. So this will definitely help the state government in streamlining the coal mining and increase collection of royalty in the tune of hundreds of crores, which has been otherwise being lost. So this is the only issue I would like from my state to press on it, and then it has been a wonderful experience for me, and then we hope to look forward to it, and then I hope that the central government is always there for us to help in whatever activities we'd like to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would now request Honorable Minister, Mizoram, Dr. R. Lal Thang Liana, sir, to please come up on the stage for sharing his views, sir.
A very good afternoon once again to all the dignitaries. Particularly, I would like to mention a very special thanks to the Union Minister once again, and the Minister of State, my colleagues, dignitaries, stakeholders, and I am really enriched by the discussion and your presentation that has been done yesterday. And today, yes, as the Lady Minister, my beloved Lady Minister from Assam, just mentioned about, Northeast. Meghalaya is slightly, rich in coal, not in a big scale even. Mizoram is something different. We have identified 2 blocks now. One is the geology of Mizoram is, as I said, predominantly, sedimentary formation. And, as of today, only minor minerals are found and exploited in the state of Mizoram. So we don't have major mineral that has to be yet explored. The Directorate of Geology and Mining is working hand in hand with Central Mine Planning Design Institute for regional coal exploration in Mizoram, and by starting with preparation of tender document for 2 selected blocks. We identified 2 selected blocks. That may take time. Anyway, we are hoping that we will be able to, have some resources, but it may take time. So I would like to take this opportunity once again, our beloved Union Minister, once again, that holding of Northeast Minister separately, that is extremely important. And it's not only for Northeast, and also I would like to invite, the stakeholder.
Our additional secretary, both additional secretaries from Northeast.
Yeah, they should come. Definitely, they should come. Yes. Yeah, right. It will be in Nagaland.
You have told,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah. So today we finalized, 28th of October this year. It will be a pleasant climate over there. So please do come. Because you see, holding a meeting of, like ministers far, far away from Northeast is sometimes difficult, That is why there are 8 states in Northeast, whereas the representation today is very, meager. Only 3 of us. So the rest 5 could not turn up because of, far distances. Okay? So please do remember.
We are coming there.
Yeah.
We will come and
You'll come there. Yeah, right. So I think today we can finalize more or less. We can go ahead. Anyway, thank you so much for your presentation, and I also would like to react, and I would like to raise some issue and queries, but because of time constraint, we don't have time. So anyway, this is a very, very, fruitful meeting. In fact, and our Union Minister particularly is taking keen interest sometimes it's very, very important to have a political will. Unless we have the political will, it is very, very difficult to go ahead. And not only today our Union Minister for Mines, but also the Honorable Prime Minister of India. He has a very clear vision that unless we, explore our resources, it is extremely difficult, to raise the economy of the country. This is very, very important. So I also would like to thank, in the absence of the Honorable Prime Minister, my sincere, thanks to him. Please convey, okay? Because I am the convener and the chairman of Mines Minister from Northeast, okay? Yes. So please convey my sincere gratitude to the Honorable Prime Minister. In fact, I am also going to attend the Board of Trade meeting, which is scheduled on 13th of next week. So I'll be flying back tomorrow to Delhi. Then I will definitely convey, if possible, if I can find time with the Honorable Prime Minister, that you have taken very, very active initiative. But once again, the problem of Northeastern region is something very, very peculiar. We don't have resources. We don't have revenue like Odisha. There is a problem. That is why please particularly extend your financial assistance, okay? Wherever possible, whatever possible. This is extremely important. I mentioned about all these things yesterday. I need not repeat it again and again. And if you can give your special attention for Northeast, definitely we will be able to raise the economy through these natural resources. Thank you so much. All the best for your future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We have with us Secretary Mines, Jammu and Kashmir. I would request Shri Amit Sharma, sir, to please come up on the stage for sharing his views, sir.
Respected Honorable Union Minister of Mining, Parliamentary Affairs, Shri Prahlad Joshi, worthy Union Secretary, Shri Anil Kumar Jain, Additional Secretary M. Nagaraju sir, other officers at the dais, respected ministers of different states who are participating here in this two-day conference, other seniors and colleagues who are sitting out here. I, first of all, thank everybody for enlightening us over these 2 days and making us understand Jammu and Kashmir is also one of the up north states, top state at the north, where mining activity has a humongous potential. But I believe that we have a lot to do, still to do, and we will take away a lot of experiences from these 2 days. बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला इन 2 दिनों में. We could understand the process. अभी auctioning का बहुत कुछ बताया गया. We could understand how to go about the things, especially in the major minerals, because that is our next anvil. और इसके साथ साथ I would like to share few factual positions out there in Jammu and Kashmir, along with making few requests. When Honorable LG of Jammu and Kashmir, Shri Manoj Sinha, sent me here, so he was pretty clear that mining sector requires a big impetus. And while sharing my things, I would request Honorable Minister Sir and respective Secretary Sirs to kindly note down our little bit of issues where we can definitely get a push once you kindly note and help us. So sir, in the mining sector, because today the day belongs to coal, so I would start with coal related things. A very lesser known but an important area in Jammu and Kashmir in district Riyasi and Rajouri, that is Kalakot. Sir, Kalakot, the name itself was named after coals only because of the discovery of coals. Sir would appreciate it because there are very few places in the country which are named after this. So Kalakot's name comes up with that only due to availability of discovery of coal. And that area is in operation for 3 major coal mines out there. They are pretty small if we go by the quantum of the coal available in the somewhere in the eastern belt like Odisha or Jharkhand. But then significant from our local consumption point of view, we have 3 major mines like Metka, Mongla and Kotla, which are operational since last more than 55 years out there. And it has been doing a production average 9 to 10,000 metric ton per annum. Say average around 35 metric tons per day. What I found, sir, after taking over as Secretary Mining, I also happened to make a personal visit to these mines because I was also keen to understand how these mines have been operating and where they are at this point of time. So, sir, what I discovered out there, the quality of coal out here is quite significantly good. Like we can compare it with Australian anthracite coal, sir, which has over 86% carbon content, dry ash-free basis. So quite good quality coal is available, probably because of the hilly terrains and natural sedimentations. It has got great potential. Sir, there were few challenges I thought I would bring to the notice of August gathering. Like over the years, things have withered away. One of my corporations, that is J&K Minerals Corporation, has been handling its operations, but I can candidly admit that there is some kind of lacuna. When I visited and met the labor and the persons out there, they are from the expert related geographical places like from Bihar and from Odisha, and those people are working. But some kind of reinventing the wheel is required. There were a lot of labor issues. Then there is a huge potential of finding even much better mines out there, but we require a good professional study for revamping the sector out there, sir. And I believe that definitely this area can come up on the global map of coal mines, provided we give it a more push. And I could make out that at least there are 4 or 5 more potential mines which can be explored in the nearby belts. So my humble submission would be that if Ministry of Mines can guide us and take it forward and make those mines more vibrant, and even professional management, maybe the right approach can be given to us. I can personally also visit the ministry to get further guidance on it, sir. And then, sir, taking advantage of the situation, this thing, I would also like to talk about the mining, what we have done in the mining sector. Sir. You have any suggestion, please? Sir, just one to, sir. Yeah. So, sir, I have some couple of things to share about the mining sector, sir. We have got sapphire, Neelam, which is available in the Pada belt, which is of, again, very good quality. So we require a good support from GSI and all related agencies, through which we can actually have a quality study conducted, and we can get it GI tagging also of the done, and further we can take it forward. And similar is the case with a few other major minerals, like we have got very good limestone mines, gypsum mines, and other related things. And we took a couple of initiatives, sir. So we want constant guidance from both the ministries, coal as well as mining, sir. We started a very good initiative of e-marketplace, which is again a very unique thing for purchase and sale of minor minerals as of now, RBM, but in future we can expand it even to major minerals once we start auctioning it. So, sir, we have got mine surveillance systems also, mineral checkposts also, and we are planning to get drone surveillance and PTZ cameras installed, because it is a strategically located place. We have an international border and a lot of disputes, so drone installation, but still we are trying for that, and we expect that in future we will have more and more mining activities to be conducted under your able guidance. So, sir, these are the only major things as per the directions. So we require your constant support and help in 2-3 issues I have flagged out here, sir. बहुत धन्यवाद, sir. Jai Hind, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. We have with us Director Mines from the state of Jharkhand, I would request Mr. Amit Kumar, sir, to please come up on the stage for sharing his views. Sir. Amit Kumar, Director Mines, Jharkhand.
Honorable Union Minister, sir, Honorable Minister from the state, all the senior officers, all the delegates, good afternoon. Johar to everyone. Sir, Jharkhand is one of the most important state as far as the mining is concerned. And we have almost 40% of the country mineral resource reserve in Jharkhand. And as far as the coal is concerned, we have the reserve of around 29% of the country, coal reserve. And most importantly, we have the most of the coking coal reserve, around 90% coking coal in Jharkhand, sir. So this conference, sir, personally, it was a very good learning experience for me, as well as so many issues have been flagged for which the state support is required for the national interest. But definitely, sir, we are committed for that. So in Jharkhand, with all the reforms and all the measures taken by Government of India, Ministry of Coal, Ministry of Mines, our revenue have improved in year 2016-17 of around 4,100 crores to last year, that is 21-22 by 7,500 crores. And we are working hard to improve it, and this will be possible only after the operationalization of mines. So all these revenue collections in Jharkhand perspective, we have almost 70% collections from the coal mines only, sir. The first phase auctions, sir, we have in Jharkhand, I think around 24 blocks were auctioned. But with all the effort, state we are able to start the operations only for the 3 blocks, that is Pakri Babadi of NTPC, Kathautia of Hindalco, and Pachwara North of West Bengal Power Corporation Limited. But sir, with all the effort and the support from the Ministry of Coal, sir, we are hopeful that by the end of this financial year, we are about to start 5 new coal mines this year. The Chatti Bariatu is almost, all the clearances has been granted for the NTPC, and they have almost started, sir. Apart from that, the Pachwara Central of Punjab Power, Moitra of JSW, Lohari of Aranya, as well as Subed of DVC. So all these are almost in the final stage, and we are hopeful to start these mines from this financial year only, sir. And apart from that, almost 8 blocks, most of the clearances in the final stage. User agencies, we are trying to provide all sorts of supports, and we are getting a good support from MOFCC as well as from the Ministry of Coal. So we are hopeful in coming years, those 8 coal blocks also be operationalized. All these efforts, all these operational blocks will have a good impact for the employment generation as well as the improvement in the revenue. So basic issues, because of all these delays already highlighted in some of the presentations, the getting the FC clearances, and FC basically getting the CA land for the diversion of the forest land. And some of the revenue issues, we admit, sir, there are some legacy revenue issues in the state. The digitization of the revenue record has been done, but still some of the issues has to be addressed, and the mining department is coordinating with the revenue department and especially the district administration to resolve those issues. Some of the issues we just take the opportunity on this conference to highlight during this conference, sir. So like the royalty, the coal royalty also, as per the provisions in the Act, Section 19.2, this should be revised every 3 years. But I think most of the state are suffer from last revision were taken in 2012 only. Thereafter, there is no improvement in the royalty. So definitely, sir, presently we are getting a 14% on ad valorem basis, but definitely it should be improved. But what we are getting the feedback, or we have received the proposed amendments, which says the schedule rate as per the pitted price. So I think this proposed amendment will, the state will be the most sufferer, sir, because pitted price is basically based on the cost price. But basically the ad valorem is on the sale price. So definitely for mineral, we should get the royalty as per the sale price. It should be based on the sale price. rather than based on the cost price. So this should be, we will request, I think, all the coal-bearing state will be the most sufferer of this amendment, so Government of India should look into it. Apart from that, sir, Secretary sir has highlighted during their welcome remarks that we have having some issues with the mining challan permits and other things with most of the CIL companies, CCL, BCCL and ECL are working in Jharkhand. So state has implemented the online system of GIMS portal. So many issues have been resolved and we are continuously improving, making value addition to that. And we need the support of all the CIL companies there. One of the example like voice of the freight operation information system of railways. So we are trying to get the integrated integration with the voice, the CIL companies thing, as well as the GIMS. But we are not getting that good support. Until now, we are just in the process to implement that. Apart from that, sir, some of the policy guidelines like the withdrawal of Section 64B and C in year 2021. So this has impacted, like we are charging the royalty on the basis of ROM, but some of the products, like basically the vast coal products from the washeries. So there is logistical issue how those minerals will be evacuated from the washeries, because royalty has to be paid on ROM, but those are also a mineral and their quantity and the nature has been changed. So I think, sir, these should be looked into. These issues are also causing the transportation issues through the CIL companies basically working there, sir. And we have sent a proposal from state government, sir, for CA land, like for all the other coal blocks to get the operationalized, and not only coal block, the other mineral also. So we need a forest clearance. State is having around 30% of the forest area. Apart from that, around 15% is the deemed forest, the jungle jhadi land basically. So it contains around 45% of the, we need a forest clearance to operationalize the mines. And we don't have that much of the CA land pool in the state. So state has given a proposal to consider the CA land of the other state. Like we have the PSUs of Punjab, Andhra, West Bengal. So those are having their coal blocks in Jharkhand. So if MOFCC can consider that request, not wholly, maybe partially, so that will help us to resolve the thing. So these are the basic points, and we are committed for the national interest to improve our performance, improve our revenue, but at the same time, sir, in the state perspective, this is not just about the generation of employment and getting the revenue. There are so many social impact, ecological impact, cultural impact. So as per the state perspective, we also need the support from Ministry of Coal and the Government of India to improve the performance. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. We have heard from the honorable ministers and representatives from Odisha, Maharashtra, Assam, Mizoram, Jammu and Kashmir and Jharkhand. I would request representatives from the coal-bearing states of Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Gujarat and Rajasthan. If anybody wants to speak on the... Yes, sir, please. Can you have the mic, please?
सर सबसे पहले तो मैं सर ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर साहब उनकी मिनिस्ट्री और कोल इंडिया को अभिवादन करना चाहता हूं कि इतने शॉर्ट समय में इतना बड़ा प्रोडक्शन का रैंप अप किया. सर थैंक यू सर. इट्स अ ग्रेट सर्विस टू द नेशन. सर while seeing the presentations by senior officers, sir, I have two thoughts, sir. It's not a question. It is not a solution, sir. These are two thoughts which we are currently. Sir, I think production cost and the sale price, I think we should, जो logistics की presentation हुई उसके अंदर एक बड़ा अच्छा point निकल के आया सर. We should start looking at landed cost price, because that is the way. Because even आप imported coal की price in a moderate season, not in a supercharged season में देखेंगे तो landed price का differential उतना नहीं आता है सर. दूसरा सर, जैसा हमारा फोकस सारा रेल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और साइडिंग पे है, आई थिंक कोस्टल शिपिंग जैसा पॉइंट आउट हुआ था, दैट इज दी वे, बट देयर आर अ फ्यू चैलेंजेस सर विच वी आल्सो conceptualizes because a lot of our production, sir, I am MD of GMDC, we produce lignite. A lot of our production takes place in Western Kutch, close to the national border, international border, and the consumption takes place in Surat, which is close to Mumbai. Sir, railway sidings and the size of barges, this is an issue which is an hindrance and which changes the prices, sir. Sir, initiative towards clean coal and UCG. Sir, we made certain attempts and they are still on. The challenge we faced was many of these EPC firms who have these technologies, they are Europe based, and progressively because of to increase their ESG ratings in the Western banking world, they have started closing down these advisories on coal and lignite. And sir, this would be a big challenge towards moving towards clean coal, looking at newer technologies, and also for UCG. Sir, just two thoughts. Thank you, sir. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir. Can we have the mic, please?
Good afternoon, sir. I am Anurag Diwan, sir, Joint Director Mining, Chhattisgarh, sir. Again, sir, for coal, these things, sir, Chhattisgarh is very important, sir. And both, I think, ACCL and the captive mine owners are doing well there, sir. No doubt, sir, first and foremost, the issue and impediment is that, sir, surface rights. It is both the acquisition as well as the forest clearance, sir. In this regard, sir, we have created a special steering committee under the chairmanship of Honorable Chief Secretary, sir, and the DFO and collectors are the members there, and all the concerned departments. And we ought to, call the meeting every month, sir, and we will resolve all the issues, even the issues of the ACCL, where the expansion of production is also hampered because of the land issues. In the very same aspect, sir, we are very close to create a land bank, sir. That is very important for the availability of the CL land, sir. So Chhattisgarh is very proactive and doing all its efforts, sir, the mining department, sir. Few concerns, sir, I would like to call here, sir. This is regarding, sir, the notification, the lot notification regarding the royalty over the mines, coal, sir. In fact, sir, the last notification of 2012 of that para 4, sir, it calls for that for the state other than the West Bengal, for the levy of cess or other taxes specific to coal-bearing lands, the royalty allowed shall be adjusted for the local cesses or such taxes so as to limit the overall revenue yield. In this respect, sir, I would like to share this thing, sir. State of Chhattisgarh has effected infrastructure and environment cess over all variety of land since 2004. But this has been else to be, in fact, misinterpreted by some lessee and have gone to court. So I think the royalty is being adjusted with that kind of cess, which is not on the mineral, but it is on all variety of land. I think if a clear-cut clarification is required in the next coming notification over the royalty, sir. This is the one issue, sir. Number two, again, the suggestion, sir, that is the vesting order. If the vesting order of a coal block is attached with a certified CMPDI certified plan having the DGPS, all corner DGPS coordinates, then it would be easy for us to take forward things. Otherwise, we need to get it certified from the CMPDI, and it takes some time, sir. So it would be an easy disposal, sir. Third is that, sir, again, one clear-cut clarification is required, sir. It has been clarified in the land requirement, sir, that for the CB Act, there won't be any requirement of Gram Sabha approval. It is okay, sir. But that same should be also clarified with respect to PESA. in the scheduled area, because PESA requirement is something else, sir, and recently the government of Chhattisgarh has effected this thing, its rule also, sir. So whether in that respect any special on the Gram Sabha would be required or not, I think that clarification again is required to be made, sir. Then the third one, sir, the royalty versus ROM, which already the Jharkhand directors have issued, sir. Royalty in any case, whether it is over the coal, sir, whether it is taken away as a ROM or processed, it has to be on either on the ROM, or if it is processed within the leasehold area, it should be on the processed one. This is the few points, sir. Just wanted to know. Thank you, sir, for giving us chance, sir.
Thank you so much. With this, we conclude the presentations and the speeches by the honorable ministers and representatives. Further, I would like to call upon a dynamic personality, a learned individual, and a far-sighted administrator, under whose able mentorship, coal industry has always been able to stand out time and again. I take the privilege to request Dr. Anil Kumar Jain, Secretary, Government of India, Ministry of Coal, for his completing remarks on the 2 days National Mines Ministers Conference here at Hyderabad. Sir.
आप पहले आप बोलिए, आज दीजिए ना।
सम्मानित हमारे केंद्रीय मंत्री माननीय जोशी जी, सम्मानित मंच, आज कोल मंत्रालय के बारे में हमने भी काफ़ी जानकारी ली। वैसे तो हमारे राज्य में तो कोल का ना के बराबर है। मेरे 2-3 सुझाव हैं इसमें। हम जब नेशनल हाईवे बनाते हैं या कोई राष्ट्रीय परियोजना लाते हैं तो विस्थापन करने का एक बहुत अच्छा मॉडल भारत सरकार का है। मैंने छत्तीसगढ़ में भी गया हूँ, मैं कोरबा भी बहुत रहा हूँ, मैं झारखंड में भी बहुत रहा हूँ, पूरे संताल क्षेत्र में। तो विस्थापन का एक मॉडल हमको देना चाहिए राज्यों को कि भाई हम 2 गुना पैसा देंगे उनको, या 3 गुना देंगे, 4 गुना देंगे। तो मुझे लगता है कि इसमें बहुत जल्दी हम अपना काम कर सकते हैं। फिर मैं 2 उदाहरण देना चाहता हूँ कि मैं जब झारखंड गया तो वहाँ जब ट्रक आते हैं तो कुछ तो सरकार के कांटे हैं कि भाई इतना इसमें माल होना चाहिए, कुछ मानव जनित कांटे हैं। वहाँ क्या होता है, पूरे गांव के लोग ट्रक के ऊपर चढ़ जाते हैं, 10-10, 5-5 किलो जो है फिर अपने रखते हैं, बाद में फिर उसको वो रिसाइकल करके देते हैं, क्योंकि वहाँ पूरा आदिवासी क्षेत्र है। और आदिवासी क्षेत्र में क्या दिक्कतें हैं कि वो वन भूमि में बसे लोग हैं, तो कई बार उनकी रजिस्ट्रियाँ नहीं रहती हैं, लेकिन वो उनके 2-2 साल से वो गए, 50 साल से वहाँ जमे हैं, 60 साल से वहाँ जमे हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा इसमें हमको एक रिलैक्सेशन करके एक नीति बनानी चाहिए। दूसरा, मैं कोरबा गया माननीय मंत्री जी, तो कोरबा में तो अगर आप 4 घंटे घूम गए तो ये पता ही नहीं चलता है कि धन सिंह रावत को नर कपड़े कैसे पहने उसने। बहुत वो है वहाँ, शाम तक तो आदमी का पता ही नहीं चलता है तो कैसे है। तो मुझे लगता है कि इसके लिए भी हमको एक पॉलिसी बनानी चाहिए कि आखिर कितना प्रदूषण जो है वहाँ होना चाहिए। तो 2 बातें मैंने आपके सामने रखनी थी। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका।
Thank you, sir. Anil sir.
मैं पहले काफ़ी विस्तार से बात कर चुका हूं, मुझे और कोई नई बात करने की नहीं है। जो यहाँ राज्य के प्रतिनिधियों ने, मंत्री महोदयों ने जो बातें उठाई हैं, हम लोगों ने नोट किया है, उसको हम लोग ज़रूर चेक करेंगे और उनका समाधान करने की कोशिश करेंगे। कई सुझाव जो राज्यों से आए कि रॉयल्टी किस तरह से गणित की जानी चाहिए, और एक सिर्फ हम लोगों ने पॉइंट हमेशा रखा है जब भी हम लोग गए हैं दौरों पे कि हमें कोशिश कि जो भारतीय कोल है उसके अंदर ऐश कंटेंट राख बहुत होती है, तो इसको लेके चर्चाएं होती रही हैं, स्पेशली कोकिंग कोल के लिए, कि उसको वॉश करना चाहिए और कोल के साथ साथ जो राख या परिवहन करनी पड़ती है उसको कम किया जाए, और वो तभी कम होगी अगर हम उसको माइनिंग के साथ साथ उसको वॉश करेंगे। तो ये राज्यों का पॉइंट उठता है कि जो खदान क्षेत्र से कोयला निकलता है, अगर वो वॉश्ड हो तो वॉश्ड वाली कीमत के ऊपर रॉयल्टी लगनी चाहिए, न कि जो रन ऑफ द माइन कोल है। उसमें एक ही सुझाव हमने हमेशा दिया है कि हम लोग को नीतियाँ ऐसी बनानी चाहिए जो कि वैल्यू एडिशन और पर्यावरण के अनुकूल हों। अगर आप लोग ये कहेंगे कि भाई खदान से अगर वॉश होकर निकल रहा है तो उस पर रॉयल्टी लगाई जाए, तो नेचुरली लोग वहाँ से रन ऑफ द माइन कोल निकाल लेंगे, कहीं और जाके वॉश करेंगे, उससे कोई ना कोई तरीके निकालेंगे। उसकी जगह पे अगर हम लोग उत्पादन में वृद्धि करने की कोशिश करें, अपने कोल की क्वालिटी को इम्प्रूव करें, तो फिर वो रन ऑफ द माइन कोल की जो प्रॉब्लम है वो अपने आप अधिक से अधिक उत्पादन होगा। और ये भी कोशिश करें, जो मैंने अपनी बात में कहा था, कि वैल्यू एडिशन कराइए। जहाँ पर कोल की खदानें हैं वहीं पे पावर प्लांट्स लगें, कोल गैसिफिकेशन लगे, तो उससे राज्यों की आमदनी की प्रॉब्लम ज़्यादा अच्छी सॉल्व होगी बनिस्बत कि हम लोग कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाहे, उसको क्लीन करना चाहे, उसको हम लोग डिस्करेज करें। बाकी सब बातें हो चुकी हैं, हम लोग अब मंत्री जी को सुनेंगे। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. It's time to listen to the chief guest of the event, the one who have always motivated us to reach new heights, the one who have always believed in us and our abilities, the one whose visionary leadership and endeavors have helped us in ensuring the energy security of the country. Small or big, irrespective of the quantum of our achievements, he is invariably the first person to applaud, motivate, and guide us for improving with every passing day. We are grateful that he has taken out time from his busy schedule for being with us all the while. I am privileged to request Honorable Union Minister of Coal, Mines and Parliamentary Affairs, Shri Prahlad Joshi, sir, to guide us with his words of wisdom. Thank you, sir.
Ministers from the state, officials from the Coal and Mine Ministry, Secretary and Additional Secretary who are on the dais. कल से हम बहुत प्रेजेंटेशन भी हुआ है, चर्चा भी हुआ है, आपका सुझाव भी मिला है। मैं इतना कहना चाहता हूँ, आपका जो सुझाव है, all the suggestions which you have given or you have raised here, they have been noted, and for every suggestion I only assure that it will be duly attended, and whichever is doable and possible, we will attend to that. But at the same time, I would like to tell both the ministers and the officers who are present here, हमारे दोनों मंत्रालय, खनन और कोयला मंत्रालय, वी आर ऑलवेज ओपन। आप कभी भी आ सकते हैं, बात कर सकते हैं, और आने के लिए कुछ असुविधा है तो वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस कर सकते हैं। पोस्ट कोविड तो वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस का एक बहुत अच्छा व्यवस्था देश में बन गया है। कोविड हैज़ लर्न, इट हैज़ गिवन अस गुड लेसन्स ऑल्सो, एंड वी हैव लर्नड ऑल्सो। तो अभी तो अगर आप तो ऑफिस, बहुत ज़्यादा ऑफिसर्स लोग बैठे हुए हैं, हम तो पॉलिटिशियंस हैं, अभी हम कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी बहुत कम जाते हैं। तो मैंने एक बार प्रधानमंत्री जी को कहा, अभी हम कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी बहुत कम जाते हैं, कैसे करना। पीएम साहब ने कहा, जो हमारा वर्कर्स है, कार्यकर्ता है, समस्या, ऐसे लोगों को आपके ऑफिस को बोलो एक जगह इकट्ठा करने के लिए वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस करो, तो लगभग समस्या हमारा ख़त्म हो गया जी। अभी लोग नहीं पूछते मुझे, आप नहीं आ रहे, ऐसे पूछना लगभग बंद हो गया है। तो आप वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस के ऊपर हमारा मंत्रालय को, हमारा ऑफिस को, सेक्रेटरी, एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी ऑफिस को रिक्वेस्ट करो, देन एंड देयर ओनली वी आर रेडी टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम। As far as I have understood in last 3 years, हम सब लोग मिलके कितना अटेंशन इसको देने का था। कोयला तो कुछ दिया है, क्योंकि
because of the demand, and if there is no coal, then there is no electricity. For that reason, little attention was given, but खनन क्षेत्र में ज़्यादा attention दिया नहीं गया था. We should all accept this as a team India. I don't have any hesitation in telling. तो अभी माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के मार्गदर्शन में हमने इसको एक वाइब्रेंट मिनिस्ट्री बनाने का कोशिश कर रहे हैं. प्रधानमंत्री जी का भी, जैसे मैंने कल भी कहा, his expectation is that other than coal and petroleum products, we should reach 2.5% of the GDP contribution. This is our goal, and for that, जहाँ तक मुझे पता है, this is the first ever conference of the Ministry of Mines and Coal together. नहीं तो सारे मंत्रियों को, ऑफिसर्स को एक साथ बुला के बात करना ये कभी भी नहीं हुआ है. तो इसीलिए हमारा जिम्मेदारी है, दी मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑन अस इज, हम सब लोग बात करते हैं और प्रधानमंत्री जी भी बार बार इसमें जिक्र किया है, पोस्ट कोविड जैसे कोविड से वर्ल्ड वार से पहले एक वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर था. Some other countries were leading, like England and others. Post World War, world order got changed. US and USSR were leading, and now US alone is leading. बहुत लोगों का कॉन्फिडेंस है, आप मान के चलिए, पोस्ट कोविड अगेन देयर विल बी चेंज ऑफ वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर एंड इंडिया इज गोइंग टू लीड. ये तो आप मान के चलिए. आप देख रहे हो, you are seeing it. We are the people who had ruled for more than 200 years. We have surpassed them, and we are the 5th largest economy in the world. And भारत का महत्व भी दुनिया में बढ़ रहा है जी. हमारा FDI रिकॉर्ड हो गया. 21-22 में ऑलमोस्ट $86 बिलियन था. एंड हमारा एक्सपोर्ट $418 बिलियन फर्स्ट एवर रिकॉर्ड हो गया है. लोग भारत में आना चाहते हैं. एक तो एक एटमॉस्फेयर भी हम सब मिलके, आई एम नॉट ओनली टेलिंग आवर गवर्नमेंट, ऑल पुट टुगेदर. राज्यों में कंपटीशन हो रहा है, कई राज्यों में. दक्षिण भारत में तो मैं देखता हूँ, हैदराबाद के बेंगलुरु में, चेन्नई के बीच में कंपटीशन कंटिन्यूसली चलता रहता है. From almost last more than 20 years at least. Chief Minister come to Chennai and try to get the investment. Chief Minister come to Hyderabad and try to, and those Chief Minister come to Bangalore. So things are changing. तो इसके लिए हमारे मंत्रालय का बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट रोल है. ये तो हमको समझना पड़ेगा. अगर बिजली ही नहीं है तो कौन आएगा जी इन्वेस्टमेंट करने के लिए, FDI करने के लिए? रॉ मटेरियल नहीं है तो कौन आएगा? तो कीपिंग दिस इन माइंड, हमको बहुत गंभीरता से स्टेट और सेंटर मिलकर काम करना है. दिस इज व्हाट ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर कंटिन्यूअसली ही इज टेलिंग अबाउट इट. Requirement of the power has gone high like anything. So is it not our duty? Of course, I congratulate both Coal India and SCCL and also Captive. This time they have done good job. There is no doubt about it. All put together, 818 million ton was our production last dispatch last year, and this year in last 4 months, that is April, May, June, July, record production has taken place. But this is a continuous process and this needs to be continued. with the same vigor, we need to work on this. तो इसलिए हमारा जिम्मेदारी बनता है कि हम सब लोग मिलके इसमें कैसे काम करें। लैंड एक्विजिशन हो, जैसे अभी बात चल रहा था, हमने ऑक्शन का रिजीम लाया है। कई राज्य शिकायत भी किया है, मे इट बी इन आयरन ओर और मे इट बी इन कोल और मे इट बी इन बॉक्साइट, तो हमको रिजर्वेशन पे दे दो। हम एक राज्य में गए थे, मुख्यमंत्री हमारा पार्टी का नहीं है, मैं और अनिल जी थे शायद, तो उन्होंने बोला एक मिनरल रिच स्टेट है, हमको एक फलाना फलाना ब्लॉक रिजर्व करके दे दो। तो हमने बोला देखो, आपको रिजर्वेशन आपके स्टेट में हम देते हैं तो बाकी राज्य भी पूछते हैं, आपको सिर्फ 15% मिलेगा रॉयल्टी, तो हमको भी ऑक्शन में लेना है। मैंने बोला आपको भी ऑक्शन में लेना है और आप ले लो, कितना ज़्यादा कितना बिड करते तो बिड करो, दाहिने हाथ से बाएं हाथ को देना पड़ता है और किसी को भी हम नहीं देने के लिए ये एक उदाहरण प्रस्तुत करते हैं। हम वी विल प्रेजेंट दिस एन एग्जाम्पल, देखो फलाना राज्य जहाँ उनके पास कोयला है, उनके पास अदर रिच मिनरल्स है, वो भी कॉम्पीट करके ले रहा है, हम आपको नहीं देंगे। तो ही गॉट कन्विंस्ड, ही सेड हम आगे नहीं पूछेंगे, एक ही आश्वस्त करो, हम किसी को भी रिजर्वेशन पर नहीं देंगे, इतना तो आश्वस्त करो। हमने बोला हम कर देंगे। तो कुछ लोग हमारे ऊपर समटाइम्स पॉलिटिकल भी हो सकता है, आई डोंट माइंड पॉलिटिकल बाहर उत्तर दे देंगे हम, लेकिन हमारा उद्देश्य ये नहीं है किसी को फलानो राज्य को दिया है, बीजेपी रूल स्टेट को दिया है, नॉन बीजेपी रूल स्टेट को नहीं दिया, इसे नहीं कर रहे हैं। वी हैव मेड द वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट पॉलिसी and I also went and apprised the Honorable Prime Minister and requested him to give the permission to this, because many of the BJP ruled state governments were also asking me to give the reservation, and I was knowing that somebody may go to the Honorable Prime Minister, and before going I went and explained him. He said only on the merit base competitive auction ही होना चाहिए, और बदलाव आ रहा है जी। तो उड़ीसा ने कल एक्सप्लेन कर रहे थे कितना रेवेन्यू मिला है। बहुत राज्य आरबीआई से लोन मांगने के लिए जाते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं इसको टेक्निकल टर्म, आरबीआई को हाँ वेज एंड मीन्स, तो इन्होंने जाके 10,000 करोड़ हर एक बार रखा है और हर बरस उसको ऐड कर रहे हैं। दिस इज द स्ट्रेंथ दिस सेक्टर हैज गॉट, लेट अस ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस। 10,000 करोड़ जाके डिपॉजिट किया है, ऐसे बहुत राज्य है, आप भी कर सकते हैं। एंड पीपल वांट, द वर्ल्ड इज एक्सपेक्टिंग समथिंग बिग फ्रॉम इंडिया, लेट अस नॉट फॉरगेट दैट, बिकॉज एटमॉस्फेयर इज इंडिया में ओवरऑल एटमॉस्फेयर स्टेट एंड सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट मिलके हमने अच्छा एटमॉस्फेयर क्रिएट किया है, वर्क कल्चर अच्छा है, बाय एंड लार्ज लोग अच्छा है, तो ऑनेस्टली काम करते हैं जी। बहुत लोग, लगभग लोग जो है थोड़ा कुछ इधर उधर प्रॉब्लम होगा, आई एम नॉट टेलिंग दैट ये नंदन होने ऐसे मैं क्लेम नहीं कर रहा हूं, लेकिन बाय एंड लार्ज हमारे जो गरीब लोग हो बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं। द पुअर पीपल हु वर्क एज ए वर्क फोर्स, दे आर वेरी गुड पीपल। So people want to come to India. कितने शिफ्ट हो रहा है फैक्ट्री हमारे इर्द गिर्द से, देश से, इन्वेस्टमेंट कितने आ रहा है। तो इसीलिए लैंड एक्विजिशन, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर, अगर हम सब मिलके, स्पेशली लॉ एंड ऑर्डर एंड द लैंड एक्विजिशन इज द स्टेट सब्जेक्ट, अगर स्टेट कोऑपरेट करते हैं तो बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में हमको रेवेन्यू मिलने का संभावना है। एंड एज फार एज कोल इज कंसर्न, बहुत लोग डाउट करते हैं क्या होगा आगे का कोल, कुछ नहीं होने वाला है जी, 50 वर्ष तो कम से कम रहने वाला है।
There is no other option according to me. Yes, Prime Minister is leading from the front as far as renewable and environment is concerned, global warming. But in spite of that, मैंने बहुत बार ये कहा भी हूँ, by 2040, according to IER, the demand of electricity is going to be doubled in India. When it is going to be doubled, even if you consider 50% is met by the renewable and others, and 50% is very huge. For that, we need around 2 billions. And by 2030, our requirement will be, as estimated, it will be 1.5 billions of the coal. And technology is coming back. Coal gasification भी बहुत चर्चा हो रहा है. Our 6,000 crores, अभी जो बजट में अनाउंस हुआ है for the almost like viability gap funding, productivity linked क्या है वो incentive, PIL. ये तो हमने 6,000 crore, इसमें कुछ उसमें प्राइवेट को भी अलो कर रहे. We are allowing the private people also. Recently we had a talk with Honorable Finance Minister, and our additional secretary went and had a meeting with the Finance Ministry secretary and others. Now they have given consent. So there will be competition. These are all the things, and in spite of that, as already mentioned, हमारा last year coal dispatch has increased by 18.4%, and this year itself, हमारा coal production in last 4 months, it is almost more than 40%. तो इसीलिए मैं इतना ही कहना चाहता हूँ, we have got big opportunity, हमारे सामने opportunity दिख रहा है. We are able to see the best opportunities in front of us. तो कन्नड़ में एक प्रॉवर्ब है, मैं इंग्लिश और हिंदी में ठीक तरह से ट्रांसलेट नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. ये अपॉर्चुनिटी को, ये जो बाल रहता है ना, इसको क्या वो आगे और पीछे एक बोलता है, क्या बोलते हैं इसको? हाँ, छोटी. अपॉर्चुनिटीज को छोटी आगे रहता है. अगर हम छोड़ दिया है तो बाद में पकड़ नहीं सकते. तो हमारे जैसे पीछे नहीं रहता, उसको चोट आगे रहता है. We have to catch that when it comes before me. We have the best opportunity. The confidence in India is growing in the world. Let us not forget that. तो इसके लिए एक ही अपॉर्चुनिटी है, अच्छे एटमॉस्फेयर निर्माण करना, रॉ मटेरियल उपलब्ध करना, बिजली देना. हमारे पास सब कुछ है जी, लेकिन इतने दिन हम कर नहीं पाए हैं. अदरवाइज हम डेवलपिंग कंट्री करके इवन इन 21st सेंचुरी बुलाने का जरूरत नहीं था. तो इसीलिए मेरा प्रार्थना है आपसे, ज़्यादा मैं डिटेल में, कल भी मैंने बोला हूँ, गैसिफिकेशन में हमने बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में 50% रिबेट, उसमें बहुत चर्चा हुआ, देना नहीं देना. तो कई हमारे फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री से उसमें बहुत ऑब्जेक्शन भी आया था. नेचुरली दैट इज द ड्यूटी ऑफ द फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री. आई एम नॉट टेलिंग समथिंग रॉन्ग अबाउट इट, बट जाके हमारा सेक्रेटरी, हमारा एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी और पॉलिटिकल लेवल है, हम खुद जाके समझाया ये 50% क्यों ज़रूरत है. अभी 50% रिबेट हम दे रहे हैं. और ये माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को भी हमने निवेदन किया, उनका भी इंटरवेंशन के कारण हमको इसमें भी बहुत अच्छे सुविधा मिला है. एंड पीएम गति शक्ति के कारण भी बहुत प्रोजेक्ट अभी फास्ट ट्रैक में चले गए. यस, वी ऑल नीड टू पुट टुगेदर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, यातायात का भी बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में व्यवस्था करना है. वो भी हम हर रोज गति शक्ति में बातचीत चल रहा है. हमने वेरी रिसेंटली आई मेट ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर एंड एक्सप्लेन्ड हिम बाय नेक्स्ट ईयर, next 2-3 years, we will cross more than 1200 million ton, that is 1.2 billion ton at that time. We need, from now itself, we need to think of the transportation system, infrastructure as far as transportation is concerned. So Prime Minister has deputed some very senior officer on day-to-day basis to interact on all these things. So हम मिल के काम करेंगे, वो सिर्फ देश के लिए अच्छा नहीं होगा. अगर आप भी उस राज्य में आप उपयोग करते हैं, जो भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी पावर में, उसको उपयोग में आता ही आता है जी. It doesn't mean that credit only comes to us. कभी कभी हम कुछ राज्य लैंड नहीं देते हैं, जब कोयला नहीं मिलता है, वही पॉलिटिकल पार्टी दूसरे राज्य में बोलते हैं हमको कोयला नहीं दे रहा है, लेकिन जिस पार्टी उधर काम कर रहे हैं वो हमको लैंड नहीं दे रहे हैं कोयला उत्पादन करने के लिए, लेकिन इधर आके बोलते हैं. बट एट द वेरी आउटसेट आई विल टेल, उड़ीसा ने हमको लैंड भी दिया, कोऑपरेशन भी दिया, और उनका खुद का भी हो गया. अभी इतना स्कीम चला रहे, उतना पैसे लोगों को बांट रहे, मीन्स देयर वेलफेयर स्कीम आई एम टॉकिंग, क्योंकि पैसा है. तो सोच ऐसे रहना चाहिए कि पैसा कमाओ, खर्चा करो, कर्जा करो और पैसा बांटो, ऐसे नहीं चलता है. तो इसीलिए हमारे सामने अपॉर्चुनिटी है. तो अपॉर्चुनिटी को हम सब मिलके अच्छी तरह से उपयोग करें, यही प्रार्थना करते हैं. कितना प्रोडक्शन हुआ ये सब हमारा सेक्रेटरी साहब ने कहा है. आई डोंट वांट टू रिपीट दैट, बट आवर टारगेट इज next year, means coming year, it is around 700 million ton, and next year, that is 25, it is 824, 840, and 25, it will be 1 billion, and in that, Coal India itself is 1 billion, that let us not forget, and remaining all put together, it will be 300 to 400 billion, and we can export our coal. अभी तो हम coal, having so much of coal, being the 4th largest reserves in the world, we are importing. जैसे सेक्रेटरी ने अपने ओपनिंग रिमार्क्स में कहा, जब मैं when I went to the Prime Minister, when he gave me the responsibility, sir, what should I do? I don't know anything about coal because I come from the South India. I only know that by coal we are getting the electricity. इतना ही मैं जानता हूँ, बाकी कुछ नहीं जानता हूँ. मुझे एक ही चीज़ उन्होंने कहा, उन्होंने ये कहा मुझे, देखो कोल हमारे पास इतना कोयला है, हम पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स इंपोर्ट करते हैं तो मैं मानता हूँ, क्रूड ऑयल इंपोर्ट करते हैं तो मैं मानता हूँ, बिकॉज वी हैव नो ऑप्शन. अगर हम कोयला इंपोर्ट करते हैं तो बहुत बड़ा पाप है, इट्स ए बिग सिन. सो लेट अस ट्राई टू वर्क टुगेदर without mixing any words or mincing the any words. I will assure you, whenever you come to our ministry, we will support you, but we want that together the state should prosper. If the state prospers, the country will prosper. Politics will be always there, but हमारे कालखंड में हमने कितना prosperous किया, कितना हमने contribution किया, this will be in the record of the history. Let us not forget. And आप सब लोग कम से कम 14 से ज़्यादा मंत्री लोग इधर बैठे हुए हैं कल से, कुछ लोग अभी सुबह चले गए हैं. 2 दिन पूरा आप रहे हैं. Representatives of the senior officer from the state, you have given good contribution. As I told the initial stage itself, all the points which you have given, I have already told the secretary and additional secretary, both from mines and coal, that all your suggestions, your advice, your proposal will be very seriously looked into, and need so. The concerned person, we will request them to come to Delhi or over telephone. We will have a talk with you, and you can also call me without any hesitation. With these words, मैं आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद समर्पित करता हूँ. 2 दिन आप पूरे मन लगा के इसमें आपने पार्टिसिपेट किया है. आपको मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद भारत सरकार की ओर से धन्यवाद देता हूं. नमस्कार, जय हिंद.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर. To extend our deep sense of gratitude for the chief guest of the conference, Honorable Union Minister of Coal, Mines and Parliamentary Affairs, Shri Prahlad Joshi sir, I would request Shri Debashish Nanda, Director Business Development from Coal India Limited, to please come forward and hand sir with a token of gratitude a memento. Sir. A big round of applause, please. I would request Shri O.P. Singh, CMD, MCL, for felicitating Shri Anil Kumar Jain, Secretary, Government of India, Ministry of Coal, with a memento. Sir. Thank you, sir. I would like to request Shri Bhola Singh, CMD, NCL, to present a memento to Shri M. Nagaraju, Additional Secretary and Nominated Authority, Ministry of Coal. Sir. A big round of applause, please. I would like to request Shri M. Nagaraju sir to please hand over a token of remembrance to Dr. P.S. Mishra, CMD, SECL. A big round of applause, please. Thank you so much, sirs. Your presence truly inspires us. As we are approaching the final segment of today's conference, any event of this magnitude is a result of hard work of many individuals and teams working together in the backdrop. For extending our gratitude, I would request Shri N. Sridhar, CMD, SCCL, to please deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. We had a very delightful 2 days National Mines Ministers Conference with a lot of guidance from Ministry of Mines yesterday and the Ministry of Coal today, and active participation of various states having mineral resources. Meaningful deliberations have been taken place. A lot of presentations have been made on the reforms taken up in the mine sector and coal sector. And all the honorable ministers from the various states and principal secretaries, they have given a lot of update on the reforms taken up in their states and the problems faced and the possible solutions to be offered by the Ministry of Mines and Coal. So first of all, I would like to thank our chief guest, Honorable Minister of Mines, Coal and Parliamentary Affairs, Sri Prahlad Joshi ji, for sparing his valuable time and guiding the conference with his stimulating speech. Sir, under your leadership, a lot of reforms for ease of doing business have taken place in mines and coal sector, which resulted in substantial increase in mineral production. Thank you, sir, for your guidance, leadership and vision. I express my sincere gratitude to all the ministers who have come from various states and gave a lot of suggestions for improvement and for taking forward the reforms taken up by the center. As our Honorable Minister emphasized that states are co-partners in this entire development process for taking forward this agenda of reforms, and the main beneficiaries will be the states in realization of revenue, employment generation and economic development. Thank you, sir, for your presence and participation. My sincere thanks to our Secretary Coal, Sri Anil Kumar Jain, Additional Secretary Nagaraj Garu, and senior officials from the Ministry of Coal who have made detailed presentation today on the kind of reforms taken up to make country self-sufficient in coal production to achieve 1.5 billion tons production. Thank you, sir. I also thank Secretary Mines, Joint Secretary, Additional Secretary, yesterday throughout the day, they made a lot of all the presentations and reforms whatever taken up in the ministry. And the last 2 weeks, the staff of Ministry of Mines coordinated this event and made elaborate arrangement for smooth conduct of this conference. Thank you, sir. I also thank all the principal secretaries from various states who have made presentation yesterday and today, kind of what are the status of reforms taken up in their states, and also CMDs of Coal India subsidiaries, CMDs of the other mining companies, and other participants for making this conference grand success. I am sure under the leadership and vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, with the kind of reforms taken up, our country is going to witness rapid growth in mineral production in coming years. With this positive note, we conclude this 2 days national conference, and I wish all a great day. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. We have arranged for lunch. Right after the lunch, we have a review meeting of SCCL. I request SCCL authorities to please assemble back in this auditorium. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for being a great audience. Have a great evening. भैया